Anyway, enough talking about cats putting flaming like torches and stuff in trolls' butts. What's going on, guys? We are back for whatever is the next session. I don't write things down of our Lordly Caliber game. I don't know what you guys. Okay, you guys are seeing the right thing. You're not seeing when I had the guys in Uniplanar Crossroads. Let me show you the map real quick. Let me just flash on over there to what you guys missed on Tuesday. See that big
Tommy
scary
just
tree?
flashed you.
Yeah, let me just flash you real quick. This big scary map here happened on Tuesday, and it happened over at the Interplanar Crossroads. They tell me that it's going to be up sometime on their YouTube channel, like early next week, but right now I'm pretty sure you can find it on their Twitch. It was super fun. Everybody was level 20, and they got to fight a Demon Lord. What more do you want? Speaking of the Interplanar Crossroads, we are joined by just Colin today. Everybody else is busy. Everybody else is lame.
Hola.
Ooh.
Colin still has a better beard than you, even though he's probably... How much do you weigh, Colin? You look like you weigh like 90 pounds.
Twinning.
120 to 130.
120 to 1. That's more than you look on camera. Anyway, let's go ahead and start with our normal. I have 5 players, so we'll roll a d6, reroll the 6. And it's going to be a 6. Nope, it is a 3. So for your hero points, starting with Donald, in character recap for what happened last week.
Okay, so what is going through Lucia's mind? In her homeland in Cheliax and in the Empire, she's a wanted person, which she doesn't like. So when it comes to her plan, getting the Liberates mortared, she is a few steps forward, a few steps backwards. But everything comes at a cost, and she will have to take this into consideration to get her goal done in the East. This will be a victory for her or death. There is no middle ground for her, as she is what would be metaphorically layer wolves could kill her and eat her if they want to.
That is entirely true, and I'll take it. Take your hero points, sir, and I'm going to roll 3. No, I rolled a 6. Okay, Joe, you have the floor in character recap for the hero point before we get down to business.
Okay. Well, last time, Pogue decided that he would go ahead of everyone with his troops, with his little company. Enderling's not too happy about that, considering the fact that Enderling wants to have some glory of his own. So we're gonna have Pogue stick a little closer to the army with his scouts, so next time he doesn't hog all of the glory. Other than that, I'm looking forward to finding this cousin of Lucia's and figuring out what he's all about, seeing if he's any match for our own LaCroix, whatever.
Fair enough. Alrighty, take that hero point, and Sarah, the dice have spoken.
They have now?
They have. You are 4th in line.
Alright. I don't think there was much, personal progress for Emeritus.
You have had a lot of bad things happen to you.
So I'm kind of just, in this weird state of emotional turmoil, because that's a little dark, but
it's also pretty accurate, I would say.
Yeah. That's why I'm true neutral right now and not, new for good or anything else, because I'm still kind of, figuring myself out. We're trying to track down Lucia's cousin, figure things out, figure out how we're going to move as a group. I think that was what we spent most of the time talking about last time, if I recall.
The planning stage. Yeah, that was last session.
Alright.
Alrighty, good enough. Take your hero point, and it's going to be Evens Colin odds man. Evens Colin, you have the floor, dude.
Alright, well, Zandu is a little worried right now about these giant footprints that we found.
Dun dun dun.
He's not really sure what exactly it is, but it's like some kind of storm giant, maybe wind elemental, sorcerer type thing. Not really sure, but whatever it is, it's big and scary. And he is thinking that perhaps it would be best to leave the troops behind while they go, while everyone else goes to investigate the camp in a small group, so that we're not bringing an army into a death trap. but that's his thoughts on the matter.
Fair enough. Alrighty, Van, take us home.
Man, I hope that Mercutio has some kind of like magic lotion or something for my feet because they're getting cracked and stuff, and I'm never going to be able to make another dime again or show my face in all the nice places. And speaking of feet, what the hell are those footprints? That's Enderling size footprints, maybe even bigger. I sure hope Big Guy knows what the hell is going on with that because that's some scary stuff. And as for that last town, I'm a lover, not a fighter, and I look at this stuff and I think, wait a minute, we're just gonna go ahead and look, and next thing you know, I'm like, okay, we're in. I'm like, oh man, we should have. Why was an Enderling here? And so now I'm torn because, like, I just want to be like, all right, you guys go first, but they're so big and loud and bumbling that like they're gonna hear us coming from a mile away. But maybe that's what we need to do this time. And I do better when I'm fighting in a shadow anyway. So
Fair enough.
we'll
All
see
right.
what happens.
Take your hero point, and Colin, take your hero point. Before we start, I should say that you guys are going to see this you'll see it on Sunday. So as of some time ago, we have announced our next giveaway. We are giving away one free character portrait to the person who goes to the character portrait announcement video and tells us about the character they would have drawn, what they mean to them, why they want to have them drawn, and really, instead of, again, like I've been saying, instead of just press a random button, give somebody something, I want to do this based more on merit, based more on like somebody's ability to be creative. This is certainly open to all of my players. I'm tired of looking at Enderling as like a random troll cut out from a 3.5 book, and Lucia as some lady from like Photo Bucket, and Van is to say nothing.
Tommy, I was looking up Victorian withered mages, and I saw that would fit her.
You're not wrong. I'm just giving you shit, dude. Anyway, the giveaway is certainly open to everyone who can hear my voice right now, up to and including my players. You guys have a little under 2 weeks. If you want it, get to it. For now, one question before we start. Did we decide to spend the night where we are, or are we still at like 8 p.m.? I don't quite remember.
We should just spend the time where we're at.
Okay, so we want to.
Yeah, I thought we'd spend the night because the idea of trying to go over a bridge into town in the middle of the night and facing something not very happy to see us or other rebels didn't seem appetizing, if I recall right.
Sure, fair enough. Okay, in that case, let me roll a d6 real quick. It is a 2. Van, will you roll a d100 for me?
Dun, dun, dun.
What the?
Somebody go grab Mal. 43. Okay, duly noted. The night passes. Nothing happens. Everybody is rested. Everybody gets their spells and stuff back, and the morning comes. Does anyone want to pilot Francis for the action point? If not, he can hang out with the cavalry.
I guess I can.
I'm good.
You're good as in you don't want to, Joe?
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm good.
All right, well, I hear Sarah say she guess she can. So, all right, Sarah, you get to play a druid. I will give you his sheet. Okay, so as I was saying, the night passes, everyone's rested, nothing happens, and the floor is your guys's.
Nice. Man, I love the floor. So which way did the army flee?
The army, like the one you guys fought in that last town,
Yeah.
they just kind of broke up and took off like across the landscape in random directions.
Oh, they
Oh,
broke
okay.
that? Oh.
But the big feet were heading towards the town,
They're heading
and we saw
right here.
a body
Over
with
at they're over at here. They at the Shah Bashir crossing.
Yeah. That's where like you saw the gigantic footprints and somebody's body floating down the river that looked like he'd been like cut in half with a like gigantic sword, basically.
We can check that out.
Okay.
If you guys want, or we can try and find. I mean, that might lead us to Mr. LaCroix here, Mr. LaCroix.
Hey, Lucia, is your cousin, does he employ like special bodyguards? Maybe.
What do I know? What do I know about my cousin exactly?
From what I've told you guys, I really need to keep better notes from what I've told you guys. He's an Azamar. His mom died in childbirth. Your dad got like the black mark of shame for stopping an assassination attempt, and everybody just kind of blamed your father. What else? He's super introverted. He doesn't like. He hasn't really like made a name for himself, but he's third in the fourth, excuse me. Like if Queen Abigail, if she were to die right now, his dad, Yumil's dad, your uncle, would assume control over the Cheliax Empire, and then after him, he has a son older than Yumil, and then if he were to die, then Yumil becomes head of the empire.
So what about bodyguards? I would assume Hell Knight and Elfin.
Yeah, that's
guards.
Mm-hmm. I think I had said yesterday you had never seen anybody who wasn't just like some random guy in Hell Knight plate, and everybody looks the same under the black helm with the horns and stuff.
My cousin, for bodyguards, he would have Hell Knights or the Elfin Guard, from my knowledge.
So, Enderling, it's something this size, like, you run into that stuff up north all the time? Because I know I've never seen anything this big.
I've never seen anything this big, unless you're talking about possibly a Linorm or some sort of. It doesn't look like a Linorm or some sort of troll or something.
You guys had got at the end of last session that there were legends of a draconic bloodline on the Isle of Briatane, which is off the coast of the lands of the Linorm Kings, and like how these footprints might lend like truth to the legend, basically.
And then there's that.
And then there's that.
Right.
Yes.
And then there's a special
prognosticate about this guy's
extra spicy
alignment again.
All right, hang on.
See if he can do any better.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll the sense motive check yourself.
Gotcha, and I should get plus something to it.
From the like Dragonbone Divining 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a +2.
Yeah, something like that. Alright. Let's roll.
Okay.
Dang it.
You get not a lot of much. I guess that just completely whiffs, huh? Yeah, that whiffs. You get nothing.
I keep rolling poorly for these things.
You
well.
Are these footprints and stuff big enough that Pogue could perhaps use perception instead of survival for tracking?
You guys probably all could. Pogue can probably like lay down in one of the footprints and like Snow Angel and not. Well, no, you'd probably reach the. Like you need more than cover it, but it probably like. I imagine like your elbow. Probably, as I sit here with my arms outstretched looking funky at my arms. But I imagine about like your elbow is about where the cutoff is for the footprint.
Tommy, is it possible to know what type of giant made this?
Yeah, you can make a check.
Let's see, would it be knowledge nature, I guess?
Yeah, that's fine, you can do that. Van, the tracks stop at the bridge, and like I said last session, you get the feeling that like he used some other means other than walking across the bridge to get across the bridge. The bridge doesn't look super rickety, but also like you get the feeling that maybe he just didn't want to like test it.
Right.
Donald, a 22 knowledge nature giant is definitely applicable. You get the feeling that like certainly whatever made these tracks was humanoid. That's definitely the case. As far as like a particular giant, again, like there's a faint like electrical aura coming off the prints.
So it's safe to say this is probably a storm giant or some elemental theme like that.
Again, it's like when you go to examine them with like Arcana, you guys got like you couldn't really place it. Sometimes it feels like an elemental, sometimes it feels a little more draconic in nature, and you kind of just like bounce back and forth.
We also know that there's a draconic bloodline blood rager,
Right.
and an island from the Ulfin territories.
Yeah.
So we don't need to try and guess what it is.
Right.
We have a pretty good idea what it is.
That is true.
Right. So, in terms of looking at the town, which, if I recall right, was a backwater, nothing town that kind of was in the middle of a trade route down to the mines, and so it's kind of gotten bigger than its britches, type of thing. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, like they'll make a bunch of money a couple times a year, and then they'll blow it on like a fun couple of nights, and then they go back to existence farming in what is essentially like arid grasslands.
Okay, so Kim, what do we notice about the town? I mean, does it look like the place where you can just walk into it?
It's about an hour away from where you guys are. Like one hex on that board is an hour's travel.
Right. Well, shall we get moving?
Let's go.
Yep, let go.
Do you guys want to take
Well,
everybody with you, or do you want to just take the 6 of you?
It might be a good idea to just take the 6 of us, because if there's really a big monster
Extended engagement.
Yeah.
If we go as a group into town, it's better for us compared to bring everyone in. We don't need to cause a storm unless we need to.
Yeah, it'll draw in too much attention, especially if there's a big bad lurking about.
Fair enough. Okay. So then the next question would be like, since you guys are in charge here, what do you want your troops to do? If you tell them nothing, they'll probably just like stand around, but
Twiddling their thumbs.
more or less, yeah. But
just secure the town.
The town, like where everybody else's token is?
Yeah, keep the town.
Okay, sure. Alright, so you guys, we'll go ahead and move forward.
Tommy, the merchant stuff, I'm just going to roll a diplomacy now just to see if I get a yes or no to buy what I asked you earlier.
Okay, sure. Can you remind me exactly what we're trying to get? Mostly because it's like, what you're asking for is cool, and I want to hear it on stream.
Okay. It would be, I want to buy a carriage and buy a heavy horse bone set so I can have an undead mount to pull my carriage.
Okay, the carriage you don't need to make a diplomacy check for, but the skeleton you do.
I'm going to use my action points to...
Wait. Before you do that, can I... Well, I guess you could do that. I was going to say, Pogue's feeling sorry for Lucia walking around, and he can relate because of his feet. And aid, can you aid her?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So that would be 19. So that would
No, it'd be a 21.
Okay, cool.
Let me roll percentage dice. The roll is good enough, but it's like, again, you're trying to do necromancy with people who worship gods that don't like that. Yeah, granted, we give it to you. Mercutio is able to dig apart like in some museum somewhere that has just closed. There's a I don't know exactly how to somewhere in Galarion that horses don't exist. So in Absalom, for example, there aren't horses so much as the people ride like axe beaks, which is kind of terrifying. But especially because I know what I'm doing on Saturday. Anyway, I digress. There's a museum in Absalom that just closed, and they're basically liquidating everything they have to try to make money. And amongst this, they have the skeleton of his name has been lost to history, but it was one of the times that Cheliax tried to invade Absalom. He was a knight that served, I don't remember Absalom's military's name, but it was that. And his horse was when they found the body, it was really well preserved. Think like Custer's Last Stand. I don't know how many people know anything about that, but Custer's horse was in so good condition that there's a museum 2 hours from my house where that horse is preserved, and it's the same idea for you.
Really? Why haven't we been there?
We have been there.
What? When?
It's not cool.
It's fucking cool, man. It's so cool. Anyway.
We did go there.
Anyway.
Are those animals real?
Cool. Now I just need to resurrect it later and have the undead mount that I don't actually need to make ride checks for.
Absolutely. How many people can a carriage carry?
It's up to 5 people.
Oh, that's convenient.
So are you gonna pull the carriage with the horse body in it until then?
I can resurrect I could resurrect the horse now and have the horse take us there, and then I can use one of my necromancy spells to make the horse appear alive, like a normal horse without being decayed, pretty much. So picture a living horse with flesh, eyes, and all that.
That spell does exist, yeah.
Yeah.
Picture a living creature with its flesh, all right?
Yeah. So I
I
can
know it's hard.
I can have a carriage with a living, appear to be a living horse take us there.
Okay, sure. Works for me.
So
Alright.
that's two of my spells used up for the day.
Gotcha. Colin, what are you trying to say? I hear you.
Just before they get into town, Xandu is going to use disguise self to disguise himself.
As
Surprise,
what?
surprise. He's gonna disguise himself as just sort of a native to the area.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and
Not
make that.
necessarily like a farmer
Okay,
type person.
sure. Okay, go ahead and make that disguise check. Duly noted. All right, so you guys
we go.
cross the bridge. The sun begins to creep up. Will everyone make a fortitude save for me?
What?
Yeah.
This is much lower than it was.
I'm going to use my hero point to reroll that.
You don't need to.
Oh,
Colin,
baby.
Colin, crit, you're fine.
Oh, I don't. Oh,
Are you
okay.
dying to use your hero point?
I got a 6, and I have a feeling something bad may happen.
I mean, he did fail, but Colin crit. So I'm just waiting on a Joe at this point, I think. Yeah.
1 second. 1 second. Fortitude?
Yes, please. All right. Everybody passes
I'm
except
gonna
for-
use. I'm just going to use a
Right.
point, a thing,
Oh.
a roll.
You pass, you pass. As you guys begin to travel in this carriage, it is way, 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 way hotter today than it has been ever since you've crossed into Kadira. It's not long before everybody is like sweating buckets. Everybody has, you assume you have enough water on you to last 24 hours, and the rest is in Mercutio's supply train. Lucia fails, but I'll let Colin is better at flavoring things than I am. Colin, flavor why Lucia does not take non-lethal damage from heat exhaustion.
I'm gonna say that the fates sort of around Xandu and his sort of destiny to travel with these people, that as so foretold beforehand, that the fates just sort of preserve her.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know, Francis.
Oh yes, Francis does need to make that roll. You should have control of it, Sarah.
Okay.
You just scroll down. And then where it says defenses. Actually, I've never seen that sheet before. The defenses tab. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Second one. Yeah.
Fortitude, you said.
Yeah. You just click where the black part where, yeah. He probably passes. Yeah, he passes by a mile. He's great. Okay, cool. Okay. Let's see how we want to do this. You guys, let's make a perception check. Let's see that. Francis would need to make it as well.
Oh baby.
Ooh.
Rough.
Uh-oh.
I think I'm gonna hero point that one.
Understood.
That's a perception for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't critically fail.
Well, I am blind at the bat pretty much.
Well, that's better than nothing.
Yeah. Did I get everybody? I need a Francis.
Yeah, give me a sec. Gotta calibrate myself.
And click where the dice is.
This new character sheet type thing.
Did we get
There
it?
you go, 30.
Okay,
Alright, cool.
Francis.
Francis, yeah. Good thing somebody's bought it. A lot of you don't see a lot, because a lot of you are in a carriage. I'm just now realizing that in like Warhammer, the undead like carriage drivers are like the top end cavalry, and I'm getting like a little bit like, what?
I would assume one of us would probably be in front as well.
You guys, the tracks, the gigantic tracks start again as soon as you guys cross that bridge, and as you get closer to the town, you start coming across more and more dead bodies, both Imperial and Resistance soldiers. There's nothing.
Both killed the same way.
Both like as if there was a battle here.
Is there any?
Okay.
Is there anything interesting on them? Any notable ranks on the corpses?
Though they've been at the sun for a while, so they are probably rank.
Yeah, they probably stood hink. Yeah.
I am figuring, is there any officers, people of great importance? I could probably use one of my spell blood biograph. Wait, I can't use that. I know they died here, so I can't really use that.
Yeah, that spell is not as good as I thought it was. You can make some kind of knowledge check if you want, Donald.
Okay, so let's see. What do we want to learn about these corpses exactly, everyone?
The main thing that I think Pogue is interested in, because it looks, hey, it's a battle, so they fought, but that dude cut in half kind of freaks him out. Floating down the river freaked him out, so he's looking around like to see if any of the Imperials have also been chopped in half like that. Was this dude on one side or the other, or was he present at the battle, or did he fight his way through and just took out both sides?
I want to know the ranks. So what are the highest rank in each of the armies to have a rough idea what type of people we may encounter?
Again, that's probably some kind of knowledge check.
So knowledge and nobility of any people of note.
Yeah, sure, that can work.
Is there any loot too?
There's
I would say we loot the body of anything of interest. So beautiful weapons, gold.
So you don't really know how like the military hierarchy works in Taldor, or in like how Qadira used to work before it became Taldan, I'll say. Obviously there's probably like your common like conscripts, and then you have knights, and for the rebellion it's pretty much just like a combination of people with like who have picked up spears and put down their plows, and they've gone to fight for their homes, with the average, like in meta terms, like an adventurer who's given like put in charge of them. Pogue sees there's not really like, there might be like the odd Taldan knight, or maybe
right, because
like,
he's gotten familiar with the Taldor nobility, like literally, so he would have a good sense of.
That's true.
I would think.
There's like the odd Taldan knight, or maybe like you see a dwarf laying in the dirt who's wearing like Torog's holy symbol on his shield, and like a warhammer that's a little, like, it's not magical, but it's a little nicer than everything else that you might think is like he might have like been a paladin of Torog or something. I will say, for those of you with a higher perception check, you guys do find, and it's probably the most interesting piece of like loot laying around, there's a bow laying in the dirt that's been broken in half, and next to it there's like 4 or 5 or 6 4 or 5 or 6 rebel bodies that look like they've just kind of like, imagine if a guillotine could like get 6 bodies laying next to each other and then just like come down on them, that kind of thing.
Okay, I'm going to do a spellcraft for the bow. Does it look magical in its nature?
Okay.
I have the detect magic.
Okay. I think at level 6, detect magic on this would require a will save. I'm not entirely sure. I forget how that works, but
okay. If it's magic, then probably a spellcraft would do then.
Mm-hmm. Let me see how that works. Oh yeah, okay. It's not an overall. It's not 10 plus deity level or 21st plus. The bow is definitely enchanted.
Could I make out what it is with that roll?
I'm trying to put it together. You pick it up after like Francis or Annerling or somebody else sees it, because you got nothing, and it's a lot lighter than it should be. it's busted in half and the string has been cut through as well. But the string is I don't know how. I'm not an archer. I don't know how to word it. But it's like it feels like I can do more damage than you would think from like pulling back on a little bit of the string. Like it's still, even though it's been cut in half, it's still kind of taut. Like there's an enchantment there to make it do more damage than than just some random bow. I will say also the bow is like if you pick both pieces of the bow up, in your left hand, the string is like red, orange, yellow, greenish, and then your right hand is greenish, blue, indigo, violet.
I put the bow into the carriage. I found this interesting item, which may be of use. It have to be fixed first, and then to everyone's surprise, with the dead bodies, I would give give all the dead bodies enjoy the afterlife. Lucia may be evil, but she cares about the living and the dead still.
Okay,
Wow.
fair enough. To continue go ahead, Ben.
Pogue raises his eyebrow, looks at her, is like, is this like save for later? I'll come back for.
Nope. If these people haven't been given their last right, I am just giving them a blessing.
All right. I'm not trying to GM against you, but Donald, do you have any like untoward motives with this?
No. I'm just being honest.
Okay, fair enough.
These people died in the battlefield. They didn't had the proper rights, or at least what rights I can give, being not a cleric of their faiths.
Tommy makes a sense motive check.
Well,
pretty much.
For me internally, I wanted to. Pogue. That's high enough for Pogue to be like, okay, maybe I've underestimated her a little bit. I still don't trust her, but.
People that died on this battlefield, they shouldn't have died this way. In the rational world, they would have died of old age. But the world is not that nice to people, and we die before our time.
Look, Cheliax Noble, the way that the people die naturally in Cheliax is at the hands of the nobility. So this is a perfectly good way to die, if you ask me.
Shabashir is quiet. You guys can. It's hot, but nothing else is going on. You guys are capable of entering. It doesn't seem like there's anything going on there right now.
So, did you answer my question, or Pogue's question, about the big guy? Was the 5 or 6 people guillotined all at once? Was that sort of a?
You get the feeling he's not on your side.
Okay, but there wasn't any sense of that type of thing on the Imperials either.
Right.
Okay.
There might be the odd Imperial body that's like immolated in their armor, or like somebody's got their helmet dented in by a warhammer that's a little too big, that kind of thing. But nothing nearly as exciting as 6 people cut like where like their chest ends and their stomach begins in like a perfect line horizontally.
Wow.
Anyway, let's have everybody make a perception check again.
Oh, hey, underling, I'm glad that you're on our side, big guy. Right?
6, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's Franny. Okay. All right, so you guys... Shabashir is really quiet, and it's a little too big for his britches, like Van said. The buildings are pretty much in one piece. There might be like the odd like fence knocked over or wagon wheel that's like gone through a window or something like that. It's pretty quiet.
What type of feeling do we have in the town? Is it like a ghost town? Everyone up and left all of a sudden?
Give me a check.
Let's see. I do not know what would be useful for. I guess knowledge history, I guess.
Yeah, you could do that. Okay, so
15. Get anything?
not really. It's this was knowledge history. Is that what you rolled? Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so like historically
so
speaking, if people abandon towns like this, it's because like war has come to their doorstep and they don't want to like get caught in the middle between two armies, essentially.
I would have my familiar check the air where the footprints go from this point onward for
Alright.
the.
We can do that.
So while that's going on, the diplomacy rolls, because Pogue hops out and says in his sunniest voice, "This, hello, anybody here want to have a good time?"
Nobody responds. How intelligent is your Raven, Donald? By 6?
8.
8 intelligence. Okay. Okay. So have your Raven. Well, your Raven doesn't need to make a check. I will.
I rolled
I'll
a
just-
perception.
Oh well, thank you. I'll just slide everybody over here real quick. You see, this is around the center of town. Again, the town is a little bigger than like your average crappy little farm town, but it takes a little while before you turn a corner, and around like some of the bigger buildings, you see just a gigantic elfin man standing over most of the buildings. You can't really like once you get about where like the map shows, you see he's perhaps 6 inches off the ground, just kind of hovering there. He has a. Your Raven can probably feel it from farther back, but it's sort of like imagine Dragon Ball Z when like all the Saiyans are super powered up, but they're not fighting, but that aura is still coming off them like in a couple second intervals. So like your Raven is flying and then it's buffeted by a wind and then it keeps flying and it just like it continues like to fly through turbulence more or less.
Cool.
The blonde man that you see, he's got you recognize the Tien monk from the prisons. He's got her like one gauntleted hand by the neck, the other one just like you can hear the sounds of like a metal gauntleted fist just slamming into her cheekbones over and over and over again. Her hair is like a not quite gray, not quite white color. Same with her eyes. She's just kind of like laying there limply as this guy just like slams his fist over and over into her head. Your cousin down here.
wait.
This is. Go ahead,
From the
Colin.
Prison? Was she from the prisons, like a prisoner, or was she?
She was a
something else?
prisoner.
Yeah, she was a
Okay.
prisoner. This guy
She
here,
was
silver hair.
she was originally part of the rebellion, right? And then she'd been taken captive, and then
you guys hadn't seen her since you guys got put in the death worm
Right.
room. Yeah.
Right.
The silver-haired guy is your cousin, and he's like, you can't quite pick it out over the sounds of like as you get closer, you can kind of hear that like. I can't really make I haven't played or watched Dragon Ball Z in a long time, but like the sound of like this big elfin guy's aura, it becomes like not super loud, but loud enough to drown out the conversation. You can see like Silverhair is trying to get the Hell Knight, the blonde who's removed his helmet, to stop what he's doing, and the elfin is kind of just like got his arm, which is about as big as your cousin is, like elbow to like hip bone to prevent him from like getting in the way of what's going on.
Okay, so there's an argument of some I would tell the party this, and we should try to sneak up and surprise them if need be.
Okay.
And I
do you report that the you see the girl too?
Yes, I as well.
It probably takes you about 10 minutes to fly down and back.
So how long? Just as we get closer to the scene, I would cast a mage armor on myself in case of we fight.
Okay, sure, understood. I will wait to throw people on the board till I hear a little more.
I would tell Poe the two people, so he should probably sneak up ahead of us to see what else he can see besides for me. I would have my Raven in the area still to tell me what I see.
Okay, sure. Sorry, I was muted. My phone was going off. You can have your Raven make any other checks if you want to.
Okay, so the area around the people, is it dead quiet?
How high off the ground are you flying?
It would be. How high would birds normally fly in the air? I guess. A bit. I guess 3 or 4 stories. Trying to be a normal bird flying over a area.
Okay, sure. You can make another perception check if you want to like determine if there's anything else going on. It doesn't seem like it. It's just kind of like this. The Hell Knight is just beating the crap out of this woman, and you don't see anything really going on at the moment except for this. This town's pretty dead. You get the feeling you're intelligent. You get the idea that in the like hot potato that was figure out what's going to happen to the prince / get the prince back to the empire / do whatever with him. There was a major conflict here, and here is where the rebellion lost control of him, and it appears that that woman is the only person in the Khadirian Revolution who survived it. Perhaps the Hell Knight is interrogating her, perhaps the Hell Knight is just taking out his frustrations on her. It's really hard to say from like 40 feet up flying around, because you can't hear a lot of it over like, you can see your cousin like yelling, but you can't really hear it over the sounds of like, and even as you get closer, you can see kind of like little rocks around that big Ulfin guy kind of like pick up off the ground before like a little like crack of lightning hits them and they shatter. Again, like just like DBZ powerful Saiyans essentially is what I'm driving at here. That kind of thing.
So with the marching order going in, I would assume Poe would go first. Thoughts on order to go in?
Hey, it's up to you guys.
Pogue is going to go in as fast as he can, while still sneaky.
Okay.
Or as sneaky as can be, and he's hoping that the rest of he's sort of like, come on.
All right. So I've put Pogue's token on the board. You can put yourself wherever it is you want to be.
Okay. Where are we coming in from? Oh, there we are.
So, do we want to go south or east or south?
You guys would be like probably. I don't have a compass on this map, so I'll say like over here is where you guys come in at.
So Zandu, once he's in range, is going to try and detect thoughts on Lucia's cousin to see what he can get.
Okay. I don't think I have spell resistance. I probably don't. Why would I have spell resistance? Let me make a will save. I kind of have like a half character sheet for Yumil. You don't get anything, I think. Is it will negates? Yeah.
It's will negates partial, only the third round of it.
Okay, so you get.
But tell me what he's thinking.
He's just kind of like.
His intelligence score, though.
His exact intelligence score?
Second round, number of thinking minds in the area, and the intelligence score of each.
Okay, and if. Okay, so you are definitely stunned for a round. Like you begin to get like Yumil just in his head, just stop, and then it goes over to the big guy, and as like your consciousness begins to like go out.
Duncut is permanently mind blanked.
Oh, thank you. I forgot I did that.
Anything from the big guy,
which means you don't have to worry about his 29 intelligence. Let's see here. The Tien woman is just kind of like, you don't get a whole heck of a lot from her. She's just kind of like given up. You would expect like reaction to pain or sadness or anger. You just get kind of like she's done. And the blonde is more, now that you guys are a little closer, we dedicate our lives. The sound of his gauntlet like colliding with her like jaw, and you can see it kind of like unhinge a little. She starts like spitting teeth to the peace and prosperity of the empire, and like she can just like start like cough up blood, her nose starts to bleed, this kind of thing.
So Pogue sends the wasp to his ear.
Okay.
And says in Cheliax, your mama didn't raise you to beat on defenseless women, and then the wasp takes off.
Okay, yeah. So where did you started? Where? I'm sorry, a lot of things happened.
So what I tried to do is I
said the prince's ear.
Okay. No, to the Death Knight's ear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get.
So Pogue snuck around. Hopefully, I don't like through these bushes.
Make a stealth check.
Here. Okay. Spell check. Come on, baby.
Okay. So you get about, you guys started here. So I'm going to say you get like here before the big guy, like, he doesn't say anything. And now that you're a little closer, you can see like around his waist, around like he's wearing like a tartan and a kilt like the people up north would wear, but he's just like, he looks like he's carrying about his body weight in gold. He's you can see there's like deep blue tattoos all over his body that like they kind of like, they don't twitch necessarily, but they move a little bit in reaction to like his body moving. Like if he moves his arm, one of the tattoos like might run like along it sideways, that kind of thing. But this guy is like definitely absolutely loaded and just carrying, probably, we're not doing gold by weight, but he would probably be carrying like every like a character who everyone is playing plus the 3 NPCs body weight in gold. When you get there, he notices you. He doesn't.
Does he look at Pogue?
He looks at you. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything, but like you can tell he's onto you.
So Pogue looks at him in the eyes, and puts up his lips, puts his fingers to his lips, and goes, shh, and keeps going.
Make a diplomacy check. Or, well, no, not make a social check. I will say it doesn't necessarily have to be diplomacy.
Don't intimidate him.
Try cortisone, maybe? No,
yeah.
I'm not.
Well, I rolled badly. Okay, so this is going to trigger held actions. Let me put everybody on the board real quick. You guys can move yourselves how you want to be. We got a Donald. We got an Emeritus. We got a Xandu. I tried to give us a Xandu.
Do we have an Enderling?
We need an Enderling. Did I get Xandu down there? I did not. Xandu.
So we are out of initiative for talking.
You guys are out of initiative as these held actions go off. If you decide to respond to them like aggressively, then we will roll initiative. You guys see the big guy, he disappears and then reappears like directly on top of Lucia, flying overhead. He just kind of like ceases to exist where he is, and then he exists there in like the blink of an eye, and does well. He grabs you. He grabs you, like not roughly, but just kind of like by your collar, picks you up, and then.
Oh my god.
Oh, my character?
Pogue or Lucia?
Just Pogue.
No, you said Lucia.
Oh,
Pogue.
sorry. There are too many characters. He doesn't do anything yet. We're still social.
Does he know that he's not a child? Because that will change his. If you remember certain things, Tommy, that will change his demeanor completely.
That is true. Make a bluff check then.
All right. Come on, baby.
Versus my sense motive, which I pass. Yeah, he knows.
Okay.
So he's gonna teleport.
How do you pass?
Because he's adding stuff on his character sheet, which is sitting at my desk.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, we're not in combat. I need to clear the initiative. People have like 200 initiative scores. We had a good time on Tuesday, let me say.
You just sound like
Alex didn't.
Sarah
didn't.
But the people with like 216.
Did.
It is over 6,000.
It was. Everybody go ahead and roll initiative. We're still social, we're not fighting, but since like people are hostile.
Here we go. Pogue is gonna die.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Classic Enderling.
I'm going to reroll my initiatives. Didn't spend that hero point.
Oh, you did that one. Okay, yeah, sure.
Can you use that? Crap.
What's up?
Can you use that crap?
You can use that crap.
Here, let me. Can you disregard that first roll?
Why?
Because that wasn't Francis.
Oh, yeah.
Me.
Oh, fair enough. Okay,
I
sure.
messed everything up.
Understood. Why do I just have Enderling and Pogue on yield initiative? Why do I have to type it?
I didn't click myself, sorry.
Yeah, click
You
yourself.
gotta click yourself. Click yourselves before you wreck yourselves.
Yeah.
I am
before
not.
you lick yourselves.
Can you add me to the initiative? I don't.
You know, I really want to keep my 22.03.
Just put it in. Just type it in.
Yeah, well. Add. And Lucia has a 4? Yeah.
Yes. 4 is better than
The natural 1? Yeah.
yes.
I agree. So now I just need a Xandu.
And Francis.
And a Francis.
I'm up there.
You are? Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to type it in? Okay.
23 something.
I see. Okay. So, Xandu.
22.03.
So obnoxious. I get why they do it, but...
Yeah.
Damn it. Boom. There we go. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just waiting on Franny. You have to have his token selected. Oh, he's on there. Never mind. I lied. He's just at the bottom. Damn it. Okay, so top of the initiative is Xandu with a 22. We're not in combat yet. If anyone wants to be anything other than sneaky right now, go ahead and make your stealth checks. Or rather, if you want to be sneaky, make your stealth checks. I'm not sure
So
what. Go ahead.
Since Pogue got pulled over there, does he have a chance to say something?
On your turn.
Okay.
If anybody wants to be sneaky, now's the time, though. Otherwise, it's
I really don't know. Oh, wait,
I'm going to roll.
Sure. Understood.
I might as well have Francis do it because I don't really know what he'd do. This is not my character, so I'll just
Sure.
have him be stealthy if he can be.
Might as well try.
Why am I getting all of my bad rolls now?
Karma.
It's gonna be bad.
It's not that bad.
Xandu's not even gonna try if Pogue got caught.
Yeah.
He's just gonna keep his disguise on.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, this guy definitely sees all of you. He, like, has Pogue by the collar. At the moment, the Hell Knight is still just, like, slamming his fist into the poor Tien woman. Xandu's initiative.
Xandu, huh?
Yep. I think you were first, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yes, you were.
was.
Alrighty.
Xandu has wares.
You know, he doesn't know that this guy knows who Pogue is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna step out over to here and yell out, "Hey, get your hands off my daughter!"
Okay. Disguise is opposed by a sense motive, isn't it? Isn't that right? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes.
Okay. What do I add? I add more. Okay. Go ahead and make your roll, Colin.
I already rolled for disguise way back when.
Yeah, right. Go ahead and like a diplomacy check is what I'm saying.
Oh, diplomacy?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Some Parisian man's talking about his daughter being this halfling. What's going on?
No, wait a minute. See, I've got the childlike feat too.
You do, but he adds a lot to his sense motive.
So would that be diplomacy or bluff?
Your call.
Van, he's got like
Let's
24
try
levels
bluff.
of blood
I
rage.
got
here.
better bluff.
Okay. 15 versus my. I need to roll another sense motive.
Hey, get your hands off my daughter!
Yeah, actually, that's pretty much exactly what happens as you step forward. In Briatane, it's not uncommon for the warriors to kind of. Present day, it's kind of douchey to say they like gel their hair back, but it's that kind of thing. They like, if they have hair that's probably about as long as Colin's for real, then like gel it up. So it's kind of like, imagine like Saiyan spikes, but without the weird anime hair. As you step forward, I forgot he's a half dragon. There are a pair of wings on his back, and they like, he flaps these two blue wings once, and he picks up like 5 feet, and a like palpable, not quite electric aura begins to like surround him. His tattoos seem to come alive, and the dragon on his chest roars at everybody's direction as his hair like turns white and stands up. Everybody make a will save.
Including me?
Including you. I gotta remember what time.
gotta remember, I don't exactly
Oh,
remember. I
baby.
know it's like in the 30s.
Xandu is immune. I think
Let me
I think that
see
tracks
something.
off con. I'm pretty sure it tracks off con.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it
Is
tracks
this
off con.
is this a fear?
It is.
All right, so I get stuff against that, don't I?
What particular stuff?
Well, first of all, the most important thing is not that. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
Don't listen to him. Was there anything else you wanted
Go
to add?
away.
If fear counts as mind affecting, I get.
Well, here we go with that.
+2 against that as well.
Uh,
With my crit.
It's a fear effect. It is separate.
Yeah. Okay, so
Gotcha.
Xandu passes, everyone else fails. Everyone
Wait,
is just
Wait,
wait.
I got a 25.
and that fails. Xandu passes because he crit.
okay.
Everybody is just completely terrified of this guy. Like some dude come down from the north. You like the gold begins to like clink off his side. You imagine like this guy has come down to like make his fortune working in the Ulfin Guard, and he seems to be able to do it very well. And also like the tattoos on his chest are actively roaring at you, and now like the little like breeze that was ruffling everybody's hair is increased to more like you're almost standing in the like not like gale force winds, but the wind is definitely blowing hard enough in all directions to knock down like anything that's like 5 pounds or less that's not secured takes off in the wind. Colin is immune, and it is still Colin's turn. I will give you one more action. Everybody else is panicked.
Awesome.
My daughter.
Xandu's gonna look at the prince over there
Uh-huh.
and say, "Hey, have your man stand down, would ya?"
Okay. Sounds like another diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
25.
Okay.
Panicked, you drop anything you're carrying, you run away, and you are unpanicked as soon as you lose sight of the person. That's how all fear effects work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know duration.
It's
Then you don't see him anymore.
yeah. Also, he has an aura, and now you guys see that aura.
No.
That's his frightful presence aura, and he turned it on when he started blood raging. I will.
The whole thing is yellow. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
It's a 60-foot radius, and there's the square where like you guys started wasn't before you moved. How do I?
The entire map it is yellow for the radius.
Yeah, because it's a 60-foot radius, and he's pretty big. So, how
Right
I
then.
want to do this? I'm not necessarily going to send everybody running off in fear.
I can't actually go anywhere.
The prince looks up. Who speaks Ulfin? Anybody other than Joe?
I do.
I do.
Okay.
I might. Let me check.
Oh, wait a minute. I picked up one of his languages.
Or no, excuse me.
It's
The
just
language is called Scald. Yeah, I always fuck that up.
I have it written in Ulfin just because.
We called it that for a long time.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you speak Scald?
I do not.
Does
Speak
Francis?
Scald.
That didn't go.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
Pogue does too.
okay, so everybody who understands Scald sees the prince just Doncott, stop! And he lands on the ground and his like everything blowing around stops. No one's panicked anymore. He continues to have Pogue, who's probably like just squirming and screaming and freaking out at this point, along with the rest of you. He continues to hold on to you, but he ceases doing anything, and this is around the time that the Hell Knight is gonna throw the Tien woman here. She lands in the dirt, rolls a little bit, and then stops moving. We will go ahead. We're on initiative for the sake of if somebody pisses off the giant guy. What does Francis do, Sarah?
Don't piss off the giant guy.
And you have to do this in his accent because you are playing him.
I have to do it in an accent.
Oh God.
From the south of Scotland.
Yep. Scotland, Alabama. But what are you doing, Sarah?
Oh no, I don't want to mess this up. This is not my character.
Hey, Joe did it.
That's true.
What? What did I do?
You did Francis's voice when you played Francis that one time.
Yeah, we all know that
yeah.
Sarah can't do accents.
Yeah, but we all know Sarah can't do accents.
That was really good. Can you voice Francis?
I don't need the action point, thanks. What are you doing?
I don't know what his character would do. It's not my character. Why are you asking me what Francis would do?
Because it's Francis's initiative. If you want to hold action, you can.
Oh, it is Francis' initiative. Okay.
Correct.
That's why I was like, why are you putting me on the spotlight, Tommy?
What are you doing?
I'm probably just holding action at this point to see how things unfold and see if I need to react.
Alright, then it goes to Pogue.
Alright, Pogue, teeth chattering, and says, Your Majesty, your cousin, she sends her regards. Hey, how are you? And thank you for thank you for you know. And Pogue tries to kind of bow, even though he's being held by the back of his shirt, so he's kind of like doing like a jackknife almost.
Okay, sure. Make some kind of social check.
Hand on the head, sort of trying to. All right, social check. Why does this? Oh, stupid sheet. Come on, baby.
Okay. How do I want to do this? Put him down, Doncott. Doncott does so. He sets you on top of this building. He has to kind of like...
Yikes.
That building comes up about to his, like, belly button. And he kind of just, like, sets you down there. The Hell Knight looks over. My lord, they are rebels. They tried to kill you. Order your men to slaughter them now.
Why would... Wait. We're not trying to kill you. We're here with your cousin. And as far as I know, she's not here to kill you. Well, she might. Never mind. But so, we came to find you.
You mean? Do you mean Lucia? Lucia is here. Lucia is here. The Hell Knight begins moving. He is not paid a whole lot of attention. It's pretty obvious to tell this guy's kind of like drunk on vengeance and bloodlust, kind of, for lack of a better way to say it. He turns over to the rest of the party. Is Lucia trying to hide behind that building?
No, it is not my turn yet.
Okay, fair enough. The big guy will move over here-ish.
So who's saying Lucia is here? The big guy or the Hell Knight?
The Hell Knight. The big guy is saying nothing. The big guy, again, it's not hard to tell that this guy, and it goes even farther. Like, the Ulfin Guard, the biggest reason these guys do what they do is for the money, because they are paid incredibly well by the nobles of the Empire to serve as bodyguards. Mostly because, in the Empire, you don't know who's going to sign up to be your bodyguard and then backstab you a week later. The Ulfin have no political stake in it. They just show up and make gobs of money. So he's just kind of, shutting up and following orders. The Hell Knight will... He begins yelling about Lucia. He comes over here. Just bring the traitor here now! Talking at Xandu, but it is still Pogue's initiative. Pogue, do you have anything else you want to... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and remove initiative because Doncott has been pacified and he's the only threat. Yeah.
Right.
Goodbye, initiative.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So during the course of this, until something else happens, I imagine that Pogue will try to come down as inoffensively as possible next to her and administer first aid or whatever.
Okay, sure. You are able to do so.
And that will be my turn.
Yeah, we're taking off. We're open. You can do whatever. Whenever.
Yeah.
Do you speak Celestial? I forget.
I do not speak Celestial, but I speak the language of love. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
Okay. I don't think you speak Tien either. So
No.
she she tries to say something in Tien. It doesn't get anywhere. She can tell. She tries Celestial again. It doesn't get anywhere, and she kind of just she doesn't collapse because she never got up, but just kind of flops down into the dirt. Her hair changes.
I do speak Celestial.
Oh, okay. So just in Celestial, just please, and then her hand hits the dirt. Her hair, upon seeing you guys, it goes from that gray white to it kind of flares up red for a second, and then it goes kind of cool blues and greens, and her eyes do the same thing. And then it just kind of she collapses her hand in the dirt, and it goes back to just almost as if there's no pigmentation in it, almost as if it was if her hair was ghostly. Imagine that kind of thing.
Okay. Is she stable though? Or do I
You think she's pretty beat up. She's you can tell her jaw is broken, her nose is broken. Her veil lies in tatters hanging around her neck.
Mm. Okay. Well, Pogue will do whatever he needs to do to stabilize her and comfort her and that kind of thing, and let the other people get in the middle of it.
Okay.
Figure out what they're going to do.
All right.
Before I do my piece, does anyone else want to say something to the Hell Knight, or should I just go do my thing?
I have a thing.
You have which thing do you have? You need to do your accent.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Just play Borat. It'll be great.
I'm not
Who
doing
has
that.
which of the eyes are you talking
Which
about?
one of your things do you have?
This is the Shellen monk from.
Not Shellen, but yeah, you get the idea. Yes, she's the lady from the prison.
Okay, and there we have that rainbow bow.
Yeah, she's a lady from prison.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys put it on the carriage, which I have no idea where it is.
Oh, well, that's bad.
I'm not going to micromanage the carriage too hard unless you try to weaponize it, and then... And Joe and I have talked about doing something similar like that in a D20 Modern, where we have a bunch of hype men. Just, as somebody with a baseball bat goes down in the car and just knocks fuckers out. But that's an entirely different story. You have the
a preacher with a golf club in a golf cart with a bunch of dudes just screaming shit.
Just hype men.
Charge people.
Yeah. It would be great. What you got, Sarah?
If the cart is nearby, I'll grab it. And...
It is probably... Well, Donald, it's your cart. Where'd you park it?
It would be out. It would be. I would assume we parked outside of town limits.
So it's about a 5-minute walk down, 5-minute walk back.
Damn it, Donald.
Well, we didn't know what is inside the town. It's better to have it out there so we can make a quick getaway if need be.
That is entirely true. Is there anything else you
Assuming
had,
our legs are
I was
longer
gonna
than
give
somebody
it
else's.
back. Can I go? I guess I'll start my walk out of town.
You just take off, okay.
I'm just fucking.
I'm trying to think of the end theme from the 1970s Hulk as you take her. Da 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 da. She takes off. Starts trying to hitchhike. Somebody is casting something. Who is casting?
Oh no.
Xandu is casting.
Yeah, I'm just doing Illusion of Calm.
Okay, on who to do what? Yeah, I know the
It
spell.
affects
Okay.
me.
Okay.
So it basically just makes me look like I'm standing still in case this guy decides to attack me.
Sure. Okay. We will... Well, I'll go ahead and have the Hell Knight make his will save.
It only affects
Oh.
him
Nice.
when he attacks me, but whatever.
Right, well,
Uh-oh.
good. That natural one didn't happen. That's...
Now it affects everybody.
Yeah. You have... Yeah, they believe you are calm.
Seeing the Hell Knight, what order is he from exactly? I know each Hell Knight had their own armor appearance.
That is true. Go ahead and make a
Not-
check. You'll have a really big circumstance bonus on it, but go ahead and make
Let's
that
say
check.
knowledge, history.
Yeah, that works. Really, almost any knowledge check could pan out for you.
Knowledge nature.
Yeah, he can make it work. He knows all these things. Okay, this guy is... And I may or may not be flipping through the Hell Knight orders because I forget the name.
If it's based upon what Hell Knight order, then I may be able to actually spin what I'm going to be saying on this knowledge.
Sure. Okay, so you get the feeling emblazoned across his the chest part of his full plate, there's a it looks like a circle with a bunch of not quite nails, not quite spears sticking out of it in a sun pattern, and you get the feeling this guy is a Hell Knight Order of the Nail, which is they're more concerned with quelling like religious practices that might be like how do I want to say this? Like savage, I guess is the best way to say it. Like think like a cult. Like these guys would go break in and go take care of, like, you think the cult of the Dawnflower for one, like not necessarily like religions that don't quite fit in with Asmodeus, but like just cults in general, anything that's like just random spring outs. Actually, I lied. I got the wrong thing. I'm definitely just bringing up Hell Knight orders real quick. He is disregard what I said. There's a red, it looks like a rook like coming off his chest, and it looks like the bottom of the castle is on fire. And forget everything I said. He is Order of the Pyre, and they seek out fanatical and blasphemous anything from a witch to a shaman to even like the cult of the Dawnflower in like Galarion at large is considered like to some Saranites they're a heretical cult because of how quick they'll go to the sword when it comes to combat. How does he feel about the Celtic pagan behind? He probably doesn't feel very good about Dawncut either, Joe. As far as a psychic, it's
or psychics.
Let's see, probably from Warhammer 40k. Burn the heretics.
Yep, yeah, that's pretty accurate. How does he feel about psychics?
I mean, it is considered from occult adventures, so
yeah. You don't need to make a check as the Seer of Varisia. You've earned your own name and your own, like, you've been a thorn in the side of the Chelish Empire for a long time, and they'd sooner...
That's why I'm disguised.
They'd sooner kill you for that than for, like, psychic casting.
Okay, I asked the Hell Knight, why do you came out here for? Is it to stop the rebellion? I'm curious what bring a man of your stature out here.
He looks at you again and he says nothing.
My cousin's there. Why is he out this far from the Cheliax borders?
The Hell Knight continues to say nothing. Yumil, he comes around just, Lucia, is that... Silence! He looks back at you and says nothing.
Oh, Yumil, good to see you alive. Been years since we last had a reunion together.
He says nothing not because he's like not trying to talk to you, but because like you know this guy to be pretty like not confident and powerless, and he just got yelled at, so he's just kind of like he's become a little more withdrawn. The Hell Knight continues to just like glare at you pretty much.
He got yelled at by the Hell Knight?
Yeah.
So I shout at the Hell Knight from where I am. I say, "Who are you to silence Chalice royalty?"
Make some kind of check.
All right. We
Say
need
the same thing at the same time.
We need Enderling. We need Enderling to
throw some intimidate checks down.
To intimidate his ass. All right.
You guys can summon 3 will-o-wisps. Unfortunately, the big guy is immune to electricity, so your plans will not work this time. But
all right, I'm going to. I guess I really don't have much intimidation. I'll try honesty.
Okay, sure.
Is it a shame I didn't prepare a message or email no message? This conversation would be easier to have.
For sure. Okay, so.
Well, Xandu is assisting with his diplomacy.
All right, go for it.
Oh, Pogo already rolled. Got it.
I mean, you can roll aid another if you'd like to. Okay. So it comes out to a 33. The Hell Knight, he doesn't move, but he looks like he doesn't turn to face Pogue, but like everybody who's standing like in yonder corner can see him kind of just like cast his eyes in that direction. And my lord does not understand that my lord's cousin has been excommunicated and is a wanted prisoner in Igorian.
Nice to know I'm a wanted woman there. Did you ever thought maybe change is good for the homeland?
He continues to say nothing to you. You kind of get the real hard, like, shun vibe from him.
What does everyone else do?
That is a good question. Well, Joe's internet's fucking up.
Yeah.
Sarah? And Sarah! You have 2 characters. If you want that action point, you gotta earn it.
Okay. Hello. Oh,
You just want to just say hi. Hi. You can't
What's up, bro?
get Kane's character killed between here and next week.
hello.
But really, what's up?
You need to think of him. What would he do? Meditate on what would his character do in this situation.
WWFD. Or what would Emeritus do?
What would Meredith do?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows the time for Emeritus to pretend he's still old Emeritus?
That is a thought.
That's true. I could do that.
I should move Donka. He would stay within 5 feet of his charge.
Based on how Donka has been sensing our intent, I don't really want to try and bullshit anybody.
Hey, you can try it.
Yeah, but it would probably be bad. Donka will be like, I smell your bullshit.
Mm,
That was a terrible Donka impression.
it was. Good thing Joe's not here right now. But what do you do, really?
Well, he sees us, so there's no sense.
Everybody sees you, yeah.
Cool.
You're an oracle and you can't bullshit?
Ha,
I
ha,
can.
ha, 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 ha.
Sorry.
I don't want to get Francis killed. And or do something that...
And don't get the big guy killed. Or
Yeah,
it's not us either.
don't get the giant NPC killed. He is in danger right now.
Probably just waiting for an opportunity to step in.
The opportunity seems to be right now.
It does seem to be right now, but I don't think either of my characters want to act right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyone else want to do their thing, or should I continue talking?
Go for it, dude. The floor is yours. If somebody wants to say something, I'm sure they're going to chime in.
Yeah, the peanut gallery over here is like, yeah, respect your betters. Like, so you hear this former slave now telling the Hell Knight is playing. Respect your betters.
Hell Knight, what is your name so I can actually address you properly?
I'm going to say make a check. He continues to, like, just stonewall you.
Knowledge.
Oh, no, I mean, like a diplomacy check, because he's like, this guy does not want to speak to you. Like I said, you're getting the shun pretty hard from him.
See, he is a rank above me, so I actually get to apply one of my traits, so I get a +2 diplomacy bonus to dealing with people of higher rank than me.
Okay.
The Hell Knight's above you?
Yeah, I don't think the Hell Knight is of higher rank than a noble. He's not that cool.
No,
But an excommunicated noble, possibly.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, I hear a call and say it. Okay.
Here, I'll give you a +4 on that.
Alright, let me see what their titles
so
are.
27.
27?
+4 bonus added.
That is a thing.
What is
Okay. What is he doing here? He's gonna talk at Pogue, as Pogue is the one. Well, and Colin, I guess, as the two of you rolling the aid and others. He's kind of like doing that whole like, tell Lucia that I said this.
Another was for Pogue.
Oh, okay, I see.
To aid Pogue when he was telling him to respect his betters.
Fair enough. Okay, so talking at Pogue to talk at Lucia in that like, tell Lucia that I say this, and not like actually saying it to her face. Just,
Okay.
we are here at the behest of our lord. He like swings a gauntleted fist in Yumil's direction. He wanted to come and see the rebellion for himself. Now we can't leave.
He says cousin wants to. It makes like a big thing out of it because he almost like mimicking the Hell Knight because he knows that Lucia could hear full well. Like he says that your cousin is here to see the rebellion.
I tell
Okay.
I tell the Hell Knight I would like to have a word with my cousin.
Hell Knight, she wants to have a word with her cousin.
Okay, diplomacy check.
I can see this is turning into a game of a telephone.
Pretty much, yeah. He nat ones and like the obvious telephone gets screwed up really hard somewhere. Okay, the Hell Knight looks at you and goes, my lord, Yumil just kind of looks up dejectedly, and the Hell Knight's gonna go over. Nope, that's just select the board. The Hell Knight's gonna go over this way. I don't have a map for this, but Yumil like looks at Lucia, looks at like this building, and he moves into it. Doncott is gonna move. I don't know why I'm calling. No one knows his name is Doncott. The big elephant guy moves over here. As he does so, he can't fit in the door, so he just like rips the roof off the place, so he can continue to keep an eye on his charge.
Okay.
Zandu will ask for Lucia's permission to join her.
You do. Having someone by me would be a great appreciation to have, as we are in dangerous lands here. Anyone else want to accompany me? What about?
I'm not sure that Big Ben here is going to let people in besides you.
Big Ben.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Let's
big
see. I
dog.
will try to convince the Elfin Guard to let me bring another person in as a guard.
Okay, roll diplomacy. He is willing to do so. He continues to stand in front of the door, but like you could, and there's awkward backstories to this for Joe and Sarah, but like you could walk between his legs, like under his kilt,
No,
and like
no, don't do it.
and easily get into the door and into the place.
Okay, tell me at least this man we joined is wearing some type of undergarments at least.
No.
Don't look up.
No.
Don't look.
Don't look up.
Yeah.
Don't look up.
I was like, don't look up.
This character spent a lot of the campaign that he was played in. I wish Joe was here to hear this, but he was very. Oh, Joe is here. Cool. This guy was very naked a lot of the time, or very like awkwardly falling down holes, and everyone is.
Anytime there was single combat, he was naked.
Yep. That's not weird. It's Celtic. I'm just gonna say he's not a weirdo.
It's historically accurate.
Yes, we have the book.
I only ask because I'm partly curious. I actually want to kill once, and I was quite comfortable, oddly enough.
Oh, fair enough. Does anybody other than Zandu want to join Lucia in that room?
No.
Sure.
No. All right.
I'm doing it.
Mr. P.
But I'm not looking up.
What about Franny?
Why not?
What'd you say?
I said, why
That
not?
didn't sound very
Why not?
good enough. Oh, wow. I don't know what I did, but he turned upside down. There we go. So Joe's.
Whole cohort of people.
So Joe is staying where Joe is. Van is staying where Van is. Is that what I understand?
Yeah,
Here?
I'm just gonna cross my arms and eye the big Briatanish man.
All right.
Pog is mumbling under his breath. No, you can't take him. 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 Don't even think about it. Just no, you can't take him. Don't.
So you guys go in that room. Yumil doesn't say anything. He looks really like pretty dejected about how things have gone on. He doesn't say anything. He kind of like he doesn't make eye contact with Lucia, but he kind of like makes eye contact in Lucia's direction. I guess is the best way to word that.
Okay, I'm going to reassure Yumil everything is okay. You can talk with your inner voice to me just like we were kids.
All right. He nods.
So you came out east to the rebellion.
He nods again. He kind of like as he nods, he kind of like sniffles a little bit, and he puts his hand up to his face.
Did the orphan and the helmet hurt you?
He doesn't
Show
respond.
him on the dolly.
Ugh. I heard a little bit of Colin in there. Colin, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, when Zandu gets in there, he's gonna sort of drop his disguise for just a little bit so that he can see who he is.
Okay.
So that the prince can see who he is.
Okay.
But he's not gonna. He's trying to keep it away from the Hell Light more than anyone else.
Sure. Okay.
So you came to the east to see the rebellion. Now you have seen the rebellion. What are your thoughts on it?
He just continues kind of like he says I couldn't, and he like kind of feebly reaches like in Lucia's direction for a hug as he just kind of like breaks down. I couldn't do anything, and he like falls into Lucia's arms.
Okay,
It's probably really awkward for everyone who isn't Lucia.
I'm going to hug Yumil like a cousin. Cousin that I haven't seen another cousin for years.
Okay,
Hug
sure.
him, hug him like a cousin.
Okay. Everything is okay for the time being.
Okay. Let's have
Because-
real quick. Let's have Joe and Van both make perception checks.
Okay.
Big full body hug, not like their first guests.
Oh,
if I
no.
remember, I think the connection between me and Yumil is like second or third cousins.
I see everything.
No, he is your first cousin.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Van sees. How the hell do you even see this? I knew I was calling for a perception check, but you can't see it.
He can see everything because
Because he crit.
Calistria used to be mercy.
Yeah, deal.
Used to be merciful.
I can live with that. Don will take an action point for that. The wasp is going to land on. It lands on Pogue's shoulder, and you get a little like kind of like the Leia in R2D2, like his little beam. I know a lot more about Star Wars than his little beam, but whatever. You get the idea. It looks a little holograph of like Imperial forces making their way towards this village. Enterling can begin to hear like it's really faint, but like the sound of booted feet.
So Pogue's like, Enderling, we got trouble coming. And then I look up at the big guy and say, hey, big guy, the big guy. Trouble's coming, which you could probably see from here. Your charge is in danger. Can we retire to another place to continue this family reunion?
Make a diplomacy check.
All right.
My familiar is outside, so
Jesus.
So what did my familiar see?
Your familiar's outside, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, I have your familiar make a perception check. I'm sorry, I should have called for that too. I wasn't thinking
Yeah,
about it.
I am figuring out what type of banners to know which faction.
Okay. Okay, so the Raven can definitely see. It looks like the rebel forces are fighting like a desperate fighting retreat back towards the fort. Imperial soldiers, and this is less like the Kadirian army and more like the Taldan phalanx itself, fully complete with mounted Taldan knights, are just like driving them back in the direction of this village. It kind of like everyone gets a little bit of the feeling that as far as like playing for time to try to like grab the prince and do whatever with him, like that time is coming to an end. You guys are too outnumbered, and as far as what you're going to do with him, it needs to be decided pretty quickly.
So the plan is to get the prince out of here and try to convince the two guards to meet elsewhere for safety.
Will the guard let me pass and go into the room?
He will not. Oh yeah, you can go in the room, but he doesn't respond to the like your charge is in danger.
Okay, so I go in and I say, "Excuse me, Your Highness. Sorry to break up the very, very touching scene here. Why anybody would want to hug her, I don't know. But anyway, so the Imperials are coming. Now, I can't tell you what they will do, but I can guarantee, on my honor, that if we go somewhere where we can just hear you out and you can decide what you want to do, I will back your decision to go with the Imperials or come with the rebels. At whatever cost.
Okay. Are you lying in any way, shape, or form?
I am not lying in any shape or form.
Okay, make a diplomacy check.
A what?
A diplomacy check.
Jesus, okay. Good Lord, I want to try it again with my hero point.
Okay, sure.
That's better.
Respectable. Yumil just continues into Lucia's shoulder, and he notices you. He looks up and like, pretty much. A little tear just like comes down his eye, and then he just like goes back to sobbing and just in Lucia's arms. It's probably really awkward again for everybody else.
So like, Lucia, come on.
Yumil, we need to get
Do aid another for Poe.
Go for it.
Yumil, the situation outside is quite dangerous. We need to get
aid another. It works.
Yumil, this is a dangerous situation. We need to get you out of here. I fear for the worst if the Imperials catch you. Do you know what happened when people deal with the enemy side just for curiosity? I would assume, using my character knowledge, Yumil would probably be charged with what would be like? I feel like
treason.
Yumil. If the Imperials catch you, you will be charged with treason.
If not, at least espionage.
It's not entirely clear that, well, with character knowledge, you know again that this guy, like, because he's an Azamar, he he's not liked in Cheliax at all, and they, like, if they can find an excuse to charge him for treason and put him on the gallows, they certainly would. Yeah, make a diplomacy check, I suppose. Yeah.
Promise him on your Osmodeus' word. Come on, let's get him out of here.
Okay. 22 help?
Yumil, I will promise to get you to safety. You have to trust me. I have a plan to get you to safety.
Alright, he nods. He just, okay. And he goes over to, he goes outside and just, we're leaving, Raid, come on! He grumbles and, like, he gets here and he looks at the Tien woman and he, like, his hand goes down to his bastard sword and he thinks about it for a second and then looks at you guys and then stops.
Poe rushes out and he's like...
He does indeed rush out.
Don't even think about it.
If the Tien woman, she is, we are taking her. She is wounded. She needs healing.
Okay. No one seems to stop you.
Okay, so I would assume I would assume our token would take the Tien woman with us.
Looks like it.
Yep.
Okay, so I would assume in the building there we would agree on a location where to take Yumil.
You could make some kind of check to justify what you're assuming.
Let's see, knowledge geography to find a somewhat safe location in the area.
Okay, sure, go for it. Van's 10. That's enough to let you know that. Well, I think I might have cut out. Did I cut out?
You're there.
Okay, cool. The
28 geography.
Pretty much out here, the best you're gonna do is like hide in a house and wait for these guys to pass. But that's not the like. Your Raven can see that there are a lot of people, and there's nothing to say that like the Taldors would just burn the city burn this little village to the ground, like on their way through. If nothing else, like there's going to be fighting in the streets before too terribly long. So
are they up north?
They are here. Hang on, let me grab the world map. Well, the world map. Let me grab the region map. Which, by the way, where is? Okay, so they are. Boop. You guys are where Xandu's token is, and they are like where the Raven is. Again, that hex is an hour's travel.
So we gotta basically get to the other side of the bridge.
That's definitely a thought. Okay, is that what you guys want to do?
Are there any boats?
Are there any boats? There are no boats.
Yeah.
So this is
There's probably some boats. There's a river there.
Make a perception check. Somebody's gonna nat 20 and you're gonna get like a gigantic boat pulled by land sharks and it's gonna be wonderful. Should have got that instead of carriage.
Oh my god.
There are
Tons of boats.
so many boats. There's gonna be so many boats. You're gonna say, please, Tommy, don't give us any more boats. I don't know why. That's not Donald Trump at all. That sounds like
Well, we picked the biggest boat.
The hell is Joe Pesci doing here?
he's being Donald Trump. You can like there's probably there's nothing really big, but there's only what with the big guy, like 12 of you, you could probably find, like, he can fly, and you guys can find it.
Swim.
He can swim. You guys can find enough boats to get you guys like on the water. Yeah, they're not like seaworthy by any means, and like if they look like if they were to hit a rock a little too hard, they'd come apart. But
So many
Which way does
boats.
the river flow?
What
Yeah,
do we
which-
want to do with the carriage? Just leave it outside of town, or should we take it across the bridge with us?
I think that depends on how much you just spend on it.
I actually spent 100 gold on that.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
So, do we want to take the carriage as well? It's if I just take the horse and it's a undead horse, so I can pretty much make it go full speed to get to the location quicker.
There you go.
It's up to you guys.
So which way does the river flow?
The river flows right to left.
Yeah.
The coast is this way.
Yeah, the coast is to the left, right?
Mhm.
But we can still go upriver.
Yeah, you can. There's simple like oars and stuff.
Okay, so how about we meet up this point here? I can take the carriage to get there, and we can meet up at the same time.
I have a
There's
better
not
idea.
much
Why don't we
space
just
there.
take
Why
the
don't we
boat?
go up to the forest up here?
Van, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, just why don't we take the boat up as far as we can? I mean, where does this river lead off of the map?
Off the map. Make a knowledge check.
Does that take us where we want to go?
To the coast.
The coast is
No.
left.
Yeah.
Right
That's
is.
right.
Try and get our troops at Demir too.
Mhm.
Either to a coast or some mountains.
Your troops are right here, where Francis's token is. In terms of travel,
Tommy, what type of boats are these? Could they hold a horse weight?
you seriously doubt they can hold the horse. They're like just kind of like crappy rowboats. The knowledge geography is like
What about a skeleton horse? I mean, it doesn't have any meat on its bones.
I would say
Ew.
a skeleton horse is just bones, pretty much. So maybe weigh like 1/3 or less
Can
than
it
1/2.
swim?
Earlier you said it
You
was
said a
flesh.
point, Tommy.
yeah. What happened to the flesh bits?
That was an illusion.
It was an illusion, Tommy.
Like it was living and had flesh.
Mhm.
In the eyes.
It technically it have flesh, but it is just there just for show only. It doesn't work.
Is it an illusion?
Horse meets smorgasbord.
It is a illusion for people who see it. It's the actual physical. It's like a physical illusion, just to make sure it's a real horse. But it's
But is actually a skeleton.
yes, underneath it's pretty much an undead horse, but it has the appearance of a live horse. So I guess it could travel underwater.
Yeah, it could definitely travel underwater. That's perfectly
There you
fine.
go.
I'm gonna roll these percentage dice anyway, just because I had a really fun idea and I want to see if it pans out. It doesn't penalize
Anyone
anyone.
want horse meat?
I'm gonna say just this once because as I roll the dice, I realized that you can metagame at that really, really hard. But just this once, you can like disassemble your horse skeleton and it can like reassemble itself.
Okay, cool. I have a bag of holding, so I can actually put a horse in.
Sure. Okay. So, what is the plan? Where are we going?
You want to go up to the forest?
Up yonder?
And don't give us plenty of space to hide.
That is true.
And we can have the troops, but we end up being bottled up, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, Van.
Well, I'm talking to the group that. So Poe's like, well, we could go to the forest, and we can, it's certainly harder for them to get at us, and we could fight with a smaller force, but we could end up being bottled up as well.
Yeah, but if we take the river, we won't leave the tracks.
This is true.
Taking the river would be the safer route. The less tracks they have to find us, it is better.
Right.
Okay.
So my 15 didn't tell me where the river goes off the map?
It just goes into Kadira.
Isn't that where we were trying to go?
Kadira is where you are, like the nation
No,
you're at.
Right. Where
Um,
were we trying to go?
You guys are pretty open right now. You kind of just have like the basic like escort non-combatants east, but it's you guys kind of have like free reign.
Right. So would this get us? If we kept taking the river, would that get us in the right direction?
I mean, that's east.
It is east.
It is east. Let's see what the dice say. Well.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the river flows, and the names that Paizo uses are kind of like they all sound the same. Chelish and Kelish, oh my. But this river flows straight into the city of Kathir, which is Kadira's capital. Would it eventually get you to Kazmaron? Yeah, but you would go through like the enemy capital essentially.
Okay.
Of course, that would be probably. I'm not looking at my map, so this number may get wibbly wobbly within a session or two, but it'd probably be a couple days, if not more.
Well, at least getting to the forest would get us out of immediate harm's way.
That is true.
And we could circle up
We
with
can
the
regroup
forces.
in Devere if we have to.
How many days would the I'm thinking for time. How many days would the trip take?
The trip where?
If we go upriver, I'm just thinking for time.
In a couple of days, you would reach Kathir. And again, I'm not looking at a map, so expect this to change. But it'd be probably a week-ish, especially considering like the crappy boats you're in. About a week of like non-stop. You are paddling. You do not sleep. You do not eat. You just are at the oars forever to get to Kadira because you're paddling upriver.
I think he's asking about how long it would take to get to the forest.
Oh, to the forest? Is that what you meant, Donald?
Yes.
Each hex is 1 hour. So,
Okay.
using the river, you're probably, I'm going to say,
2 hours.
the river is probably about as fast. Well, I don't make no sense.
What is the current like? If the current is pretty good going eastward, then we should get there in maybe 2 to 3 hours.
That is the question, yeah. Okay, I'll say the time gets cut in half. So, if you were to take the river, you'd get there in a couple hours, yeah. It's been a while since I used a boat.
Hey, big guy, you be happy with some water?
He just kind of like flows right here. Or flows. He flies right there.
Flows.
He turns into a water elemental. He's been hiding his other bloodline.
Right. So Hope looks at Enderling and says, "No, other big guy, you happy with some water?"
Enderling's
Enderling's probably already in the water.
yeah,
No, okay.
splashing around happily.
I just had a thought. It's a shame that I don't have undead skeleton and a boat, so we can just roll there quicker.
Yeah. So the plan is we are going to get in a boat and we are going to head that way. It takes you...
Poe gets in the boat and mentions something to the same effect.
Sure.
Like, you're telling me these hands are not going to be good for anything ever again. And
So,
then starts
1, 2...
So your hands? Are you not a performer? Can you always just wash them?
No, the calluses.
So it's still,
No,
like, it is incredibly hot as you guys travel upriver, but the water source is enough to where, like,
I mean, how
everyone
many
is smart enough. You probably all have, like, one crappy canoe to yourself.
How many people
Oh.
are like at the dock
At the dock?
before we leave?
Okay, yeah, hang
Before
on.
we leave?
You said there were so many.
So many boats. More than 5. Oh, well.
What?
15, I guess. Damn it.
What are the odds of that?
I don't know. It's RNG, so the odds are
More
random.
than 20.
The question is, should we
F3?
leave the boats there to make it look like we didn't go anywhere, or should we destroy them so they can't follow us upriver easily?
It is indeed a
Probabilities
question.
are awkward. It would take me an
Leave
extended
the-
amount of time to calculate that.
No, leave the boats there because there's not enough for them to take to catch
Oh
us.
yeah, true.
Mhm.
They have a big army. They wouldn't be able to.
Alright, so 2 hours passed. You guys end up right yonder. The river probably...
With us?
The troops are on Francis's token. They're just, like, right outside Demir.
Okay.
When you guys were here, they were here traveling.
So did we tell? All right. So as we were traveling, should we have told our troops to meet us in the forest?
You wouldn't have had a way to, because they were, like... As you get on the boats, they're an hour...
For the familiars.
Oh, yeah,
Lost?
that's true.
How familiar we could send the message there.
And the wasp that literally exists to send messages all over the place. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, the troops meet you in the forest. They're all, like, very taken aback by the giant Ulfin man. The horses are certainly like not only just uncomfortable to be like in like a really like hilly forest, but then this big guy starts crashing through the trees and they all start to like panic and stamp their feet and roll their eyes and stuff. The like your common like crap infantry don't look much better either. Also, the Tien woman, she retrieves her bow from the carriage when you guys like go to like unhinge the horse.
Well,
Okay,
I was
Do you want to give it to her?
I was
Yeah. I
Yes,
was on my way to do it, remember?
Oh yeah, that you were. Okay. Well, hang on, Donald. I forgot about that. This is way back.
I would have had given the bow to her. I thought maybe the bow belonged to her. Thinking of the Earl, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So again, this is something Sarah had taken off to do. I forgot. the Tien woman like limping. She realizes you have her bow, and she like reaches her hand out feebly to like take. It's awkward because it's broken half. But she tries to like grab it where like she should grab it, and then she realizes she can't, and then like just kind of reaches out like this to take both ends of the bow.
Do you need some healing, friend?
Do you speak Celestial? No, you are speaking Celestial right now because that is your revised curse and you're under duress. So she just kind of nods. Yes.
Okay, I'll use up
literally all my heal spells.
What? I do? I'll just do like cure moderate wounds.
Okay. You don't necessarily need to roll it. She like you watch like her jaw kind of like reset itself, her nose kind of like as it goes back into place, the bruises on her face and like neck and chest begin to heal. She nods and just quiet as thank you. She takes her bow and just kind of like takes her place in the caravan of canoes, the canoe-a-van, if you will.
What?
The caribou.
New van.
Where are we?
What?
You said caribou.
I said the canoe caravan.
Oh, I thought you said caribou.
Actually, Tolk showed up.
Said what?
Tolk showed up while you guys weren't here. And anyway, I digress. You guys reach the forest. You guys, you probably have line of sight from the river. You guys see the Taldan Phalanx is a lot better equipped and a lot more well-disciplined than anything that, like, again, Kadira is kind of like the backwater butt end of the Empire, so their soldiers are just kind of what you have, more or less. And whereas the Taldan Phalanx is a lot more, again, they're well-disciplined. You see big shields and pikes and closed ranks just kind of like bulldozing over people that fight as they retreat, and what limited cavalry the Allied forces seem to have just kind of get, like, when they choose to stop and fight, they're overwhelmed, but it's more of the, like, ride back and shoot at these horses that are, like, covered in scale mail and riders that are covered in scale mail. The Kadiran...
Hurrying them.
Yeah, pretty much. They're just fighting their way north. You guys reach the forest. What happened?
Right. So, Your Highness, what are we doing?
He doesn't say anything. He continues. In the past 2 hours, he's gone from crying his eyes out to just kind of like going back to quiet dejectedness.
So Yumil is going through the stages of
Not puberty.
No. I'm trying to think of the mood stages. There's depression, there's then it's anger, and then there's...
Are you talking about grief? The 5 stages of grief?
Yeah, just how you describe it. I'm thinking stages of grief.
Not puberty.
No.
Big difference.
Oh yeah, huge.
I would tell what I see with my raven. The army is coming to us.
By the way, you know that this guy's self wears off after 60 minutes?
Got it. Okay. Everybody's aware of who you are, but they realize, the Hell Knight has not surrendered, but he has surrendered.
Oh shit, do I have to deal with that again?
No.
What?
Yeah, I'm confused. What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Oh, I see. Go ahead, guys. It sucks when the player has line of sight to the GM's computer.
Sorry, I'm kind of metagaming.
Yumil, the Taldor troops are coming to our location. Now you know what we are fighting for. The Taldors want us dead, and we are trying to rebuild a better future. Do you want to be with us?
Before he has a chance to respond, a little accuser devil winks in. I don't know why I put him on the board because it's not that relevant. Unless people want to start like punching him and then I'll find a random forest map. But a little accuser devil like winks into existence and he begins like buzzing around Yumil's head, buzzing around the Hell Knight's head, and like kind of does an orbit around the big elfin guy. Who do I want to do this to? I'll roll a d6 for it. Because I don't think I can just display it. Stop with the sixes! Okay, yeah, sure, he'll go to Lucia. Lucia, the accuser devil, like, the gross, fat bug baby that it is, flies up to you, and its gross, fat bug baby, sticky tongue kind of blah out of its mouth, and it touches you. What?
Do I know what it's doing?
If you will let me finish flavor texting, yes, you do. But it puts its tongue on your like forehead, and as it happens, a really monotone message over and over in your head. Just, we know you have Prince Yumil. We are willing to negotiate terms for his surrender. You have 10 days to meet us at Absalom. We know you have Prince Yumil. The message just like repeats over and over again, really monotone.
Okay, I would tell them, tell everyone, we have 10 days in the wrestling message. Yumil, they want you alive. This is not good for us. And anyone else can begin to talk.
Well, we want you alive too, but who's they?
It would be, I would assume it would be the Taldor or probably the Cheliax nobles.
You can assume by the fact that a little devil has showed up and relayed this message. Yeah, it's the Chelish.
Yeah, so the Cheliax nobles want Yumil. I would assume they want him to disappear underneath a black hood to be away, so they can have a court trial away from public light, I would assume.
It's a thought.
Yumil, the Chelish nobles, they want you alive.
So they say.
I was talking to everyone. They want Yumil alive.
They want him alive so they can kill him themselves.
Yes. I am not going to let my cousin die. Yumil, if you want to live, you need to come with us.
Does anybody else have anything to add?
I'm kind of not down with letting the family member of a friend go to the bad guys.
I shouldn't necessarily say like it's not, they are definitely the bad guys, but also it's been said over and over that Cheliax hasn't, like, it's only been a couple weeks since the war broke out, but Cheliax, if they wanted to, they could just teleport oodles and oodles of Hell Knights into Qadira and just shut this thing down, and they haven't. You're not necessarily delivering them to the bad guys, but like Donald said, it's entirely possible that like if you were to take Yumil back to Cheliax, they just kill him. Of course, it's not necessarily like, that's not 100%. They might not. It's hard to say.
What is everyone else's thoughts? What is everyone else's thoughts on the matter?
Well,
There's a big army of highly trained soldiers marching towards us.
They're not.
No.
Nope.
Where are they going?
You're not sure. Due north, but not in your direction.
So, is there any military outpost in the far north? I'm trying to figure.
You guys are, and this number is going to get wibbly wobbly, I'm sure, but you're about an hour's march from the Taldor border. Of course, again, if you were to just like waltz over there, there's humongous bounties on everybody's head. There's nothing to say they wouldn't just like kill you. You guys don't need to make a knowledge check to know, because it's pretty common knowledge. Absalom is neutral ground. Absalom has been neutral ground for ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Since the war broke out, Absalom, like Cheliax has invaded Absalom a couple times and it hasn't paid off for him. They just kind of exist to sell arms to both sides and facilitate trade across the rest of Galarion. People have learned not to attack it.
Oh yeah.
What?
Captured.
I mean, what? I'm confused.
Is the top of the map not north?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and due north of the army, is this the army?
The army is the Raven. These tokens here don't matter. You guys are all essentially
I
like...
understand. I understand. I'm just saying the army's going due north.
Uh-huh.
Due north of them is a town we just captured.
Yeah, that is true. But there's not a whole lot of that town left.
And then...
Tommy, I am just curious. What is our bounties? I know from manga, the Trigon manga, he have a very large bounty on his head. So I'm just curious, what is our bounty? Just for curiosity's sake.
Roll percentage dice.
Hello.
Natural one. You were no, just Lucia, just to satisfy his curiosity.
We are wanted people, so I'm curious how much our heads are worth.
Apparently, not very much for yours.
Well, this is an insult.
Well, you gotta roll percentage
The
dice.
one setting the bounties, not me.
I shall roll the percentage dice. Okay, so you I don't remember if I gave you guys an exact number a couple sessions ago, but you imagine, like, to the Empire, you guys are all probably worth, like, because you guys are more powerful than the average, like, idiot with a spear, you guys are all, like, 10, 15, 20,000 gold. In Cheliax, Xandu is probably worth about 10 times that. Same for Lucia. Like, if you guys decided right now just, like, to turn this campaign on the head and betray Lucia and Xandu, find a way to get to Cheliax and sell them off into slavery or death, you guys would have enough gold probably to just, like, retire from adventuring for, like, your next 20 characters.
If I really wanted to, I could use one of the necromancy spells, Dress Corpse, and make a lot of money in a short amount of time, change my appearance and name, and be another person altogether if I really wanted to.
It's entirely possible. Illusion magic is powerful.
So what you're saying, lady, is you'd sell your body?
No.
Does that make you better than me?
No. It is just a tactic. It's just a tactic to cheat my enemy, so I can get away with the riches and start a new life potentially.
That's what she said. So. Pogue is just taking the piss out of her for the hell of it.
Well, that conversation went down the rabbit hole quickly.
It usually does.
Yumil, what? I do not want to see my cousin go back to Cheliax. Knowing the nobles, they either want you dead and have a show trial, or they want you alive for some other nefarious purpose. I'm not going to let you go back there.
Okay. Make a check of some kind.
Diplomacy check?
Sounds good. He is definitely of higher rank than you.
And then add what modifiers being family branch.
Sure.
And I'll aid.
Okay, so that would be 16 plus the other hidden modifiers.
Hidden modifiers.
4 from me.
Okay, so,
Modifiers you're not allowed to
By
see.
himself.
Yeah, or you can just take Pogue.
I'm gonna roll for it. I'm not sure how I want to do this.
My dice rolls, they are getting worse now.
Pogue's just warming up.
Yumil continues to be quiet. He doesn't say anything. You can tell there's a lot going through his head, but he hasn't like worked up the courage to say anything. While this is going on, the little fat devil is just kind of like sitting in front of Lucia's face, staring like slack-jawed and wide-eyed. Just you know he's waiting for a reply.
Okay, in Inferno, we will give you an answer within 10 days.
Okay.
I would assume. Does the party want to have a actual weekly response giving it in a different location, so they know a different answer or not? How does the party want to proceed with this?
What do you mean?
What?
Do we? We are not going back to Cheliax to take Yumil back there. So is it definitely no to take Yumil back? This is the agreed consensus.
If we will give them a response at the time and place of our choosing.
So where would that be?
You don't have to tell them.
Okay.
Don't tell them everything.
Okay, I'm okay. So we will give you an answer at a choice of our picking before the deadline.
Okay. The accuser devil. Well, actually, I had him teleport out, but I'm gonna renege that. The accuser devil is not satisfied with that answer and continues to just buzz in front of you.
Okay, so
well, what the hell is he doing here then? Let's kill him.
Did we not
I'm
like?
not satisfied.
Did he
Alright,
not
then.
tell us where he'd meet us?
Well, he who what?
The accuser devil did not already like say like, you must meet me here in 10 days.
Yeah, in Absalom in 10 days. Or
Yeah,
rather, you have
so
10
it's-
days to get to Absalom.
Then we don't really have a choice very well of where and when. So we just kind of have to.
Oh, that's true.
So that's probably why he's not satisfied. We gotta satisfy him.
That is a little baby, Sarah. And also a bug.
no.
Bug doesn't satisfy bugs or babies. Sorry,
Good to know.
he has his morals.
Okay, good to know you.
Molars.
Good to know you. Good thing to know you do not service a monster or a
Well, that's
outsider.
plenty of paladin monsters.
So
But that's beside the point.
So the devil is not happy with the answer we give. So how about we just give them a location in the area and we give them an answer?
No, why don't we say, sure, we'll see you in 10 days in Absalom.
Let's
You don't
try
have
that.
to,
That's
right?
That's entirely
Right.
true.
probably what he
Yeah,
wants.
true. True.
Just agree to his terms and conditions.
It continues to look just straight at Lucia this whole time.
Okay, so getting the consensus.
Maybe
I
he
will
needs
tell
like a
them,
tip or something.
What?
Like a delivery
So-
tip. Like for like a pizza boy.
Are you mocking me?
No. Maybe that's what you need to do when people don't tip you, like lick their eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah.
So the consensus is to lie then.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Are we lying? Is that correct?
For the person we're gonna lie to.
You could try giving him
the
like a
thing-
gold piece or something, see if he goes away.
The thing is, I'm not terrible at lying, but I'm not that great at it either. So I guess it could lie.
Okay. Roll a bluff check.
Okay.
This is the moment I actually wish I'd saved my hero points. Like,
I mean, I was thinking
Oh.
like in Harry Potter, where the owls come and they peck you until you give them the money.
He's not a beggar, Sarah.
Well, no, but
21?
25. Does anybody else want to aid?
sure.
Intimidate him.
Oh, I have a lot of diplomacy.
But they're rolling a bluff check, actually.
Oh, we're
This is a lie!
This is the truth! Listen to him!
It is a shame that I do not know mind blank, or this would be a nice thing to say. We are not the. This is not the droid we're looking for.
Right.
Alright. The little guy disappears.
Does it look like does it look like the lie actually work?
Roll a sense motive.
I guess guess I'll leave it
Well,
at that
if you
too.
can't beat it, you believe it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, either way, you're fucked. Wow, it did work. Oh, it did.
So ate another. That's a 23 total. So do I believe the lie? I have a feeling that Frosty.
Do we believe he believes the lie?
Do we believe our own lie?
It gets really convoluted from here. No.
This is like the movie in Inception.
So you get the feeling that the accuser might or might not believe you, but you guys were getting just kind of like quick audio. It can replay up to 24 hours of witnessed events. So it's kind of like he's going to take the security camera to whoever's on the other side of where he teleported to, and then they're going to view it, and then they're going to make their own judgment.
So it is a tape recorder.
So it is 50-50 if we
Ish.
receive it or not.
Yeah.
50-50-ish. 50-50 on whether that's a 50-50 or not.
Yeah.
It's about 50-50 on that.
About. All right then.
I.e., we're pretty much even split on whether or not it's 25 or 75. It's about 50-50.
That's the average.
So what did
Believe it or they won't.
what does the group do now? The devil is away. We have Yumil to talk to, and we're in a forest. The only thing is missing is a campfire, having marshmallows.
What else's cousins?
And a caribou.
My girlfriend.
Just go call on Tolk. You have one favor from Tolk if you want that caribou. Just burn it right now. Get a caribou.
What
I want a caribou! Screw over the rest of the party.
Maybe
what I
we
want,
can
Tommy.
have maybe.
Yeah, caribou for this desert.
Yes! It will die of heat exhaustion.
Oh,
Camel of the North.
I'll feel bad, Tommy. Don't do that. I'll feel bad.
I think Donald was trying to say something relevant.
Maybe with the favor, we can actually have a forest party.
So it wasn't.
No, I want to know what's going on with Cuz,
Okay.
with your cousin. So
Well, cousin.
So what is your mood at the moment?
Make a sense motive check. Yumil is very, like, drawn into himself. His Hell Knight is just... His name... I don't need to call him Hell Knight. His name is Raid. He's just kind of, like... He's sitting with his hands behind his back. Not, like, relaxing. Not quite, like, waiting for someone to, like, tie his arms together. But it's that kind of idea, like... He's accepted that he's a prisoner, but at the same time, like, he's able to defend himself. The big elephant man just kind of stands there. No one's really saying a whole lot of anything.
Lord.
Yumil's eyes are probably still pretty red.
Knowing Yumil mindset, he is shocked by the situation he's in. So, do we want to take him back to the fort and let him think things over, or how do we want to proceed with this?
Look, we need to know whether he's with us or not, and we need to act accordingly. I mean, he is royalty after all, and it's time for him to grow up and
Listen, I know we just kidnapped you, but are you with us or not? Has Stockholm Syndrome set in yet?
Oh my god.
You are making this.
Look, your cousin thinks you should stay with us. I gave you my word that if you wanted to go to them, you can go to them. If you want to stay with us, you can stay with us. If you want to go on your own way, I'm sure that this big guy here, he can protect you just fine. So you came out to see the rebellion. How come?
How come? We'll let the percentage dice decide what he wants to do.
Decide about how he feels about his Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you ever been to Stockholm?
I just had a thought. With the things we are doing, are we actually heroes? Heroes usually do good things, not kidnap people.
I didn't kidnap him.
Donald Blood Bunny.
Yeah, yeah.
He came along with us willingly.
Yumil, he begins to compose himself and he looks up just. I need to return to Cheliax. As he says this, his helmet just finally. He stands up.
And how would you like to go? And I say, and folks said, so how would you like to go? With the Imperials or another way?
How would he like to go?
And Pogue is not saying that in any kind of like, would you like to go feet first?
Okay.
It's good to know to see how Poe thinks.
Take me to Absalom. Raid will be traveling with these people for a while. Raid just, fine, my lord. How do you propose we get there? There is the matter of the ocean.
In a boat?
You guys track the rickety canoes. All right!
You said they were great. So many.
Question. Is there any docks, cities along the area we are in?
Are there? Make a knowledge. Make a knowledge.
Knowledge geography, I will do.
Yeah, if you would.
I mean, we do have that favor.
Can we get a caribou boat?
Caribou boat!
Yeah!
Okay, so the only port cities that are going to give you anything big enough, like Absalom's about 300 miles from the coast, and you're about a day from the coast. So if you were like, you could go to some fishing village and get some crappy fishing ship and try to row to Absalom, and maybe the Fort Saves will be with you. But like, if you want something decent, if you want something like big enough to transport you safely, you would have to like break into an imperially held city and fight your way through the guards, and then figure out how to get a boat out.
I'm curious, would Mercutio have had a disguise greater for all of us?
He might.
I am thinking if we convince him to let us borrow a hat of that, each of us, we can disguise ourselves as members of Cheliax forces to take him back to Absalom. And I can make the paperwork.
He definitely doesn't have enough hats of disguise for your soldiers.
Well, no, we wouldn't take the soldiers.
I would take 10,000 hats of disguise.
No.
Yes, me and all of my cousins have come in. Don't worry about the boys riding horses.
These 10,000 people, they are our entire family. Can you see the troll kin blood in their faces?
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, Pogue has an idea. How about we travel as a circus?
That's not bad.
Yeah!
1,000-strong circus.
The biggest circus.
We'll be the Ringling Brothers.
Big ass circus.
The best way to hide these big guys here is in plain sight.
Yeah. It would cost you like well over $1 million gold, by the way, to buy that many hats of disguise.
Oh.
I know you're not trying to, but I wanted to crunch the numbers.
Okay, so is there enough hats of disguise for everyone in the current location here?
No, in the party, not the circus.
No, party here, not at the fort, because that would be a king's ransom, pretty much.
Do they need to be greater hats of disguise?
Well, with the altar's self spell, that will give us a better chance at disguise checks.
Okay.
So, I have a question. Given the time,
yes.
How successful is there anything that Pogue can do to make it more, have a better chance of success?
It's entirely possible. Yeah.
I mean, because if he's like, you know what, I've had experience dressing as a human child for a long time, that he could make it pretty convincing.
Yeah, that's a thought.
So, if we do use the hat of disguise route, so what is our cover story?
Circus?
Circus is pretty good.
Circus idea. I like the circus idea.
I'm a wizard. You're an entertainer, Poe. So we could, a circus would actually work, and it would be a good cover story for it.
You're the circus prostitute?
No, he's the circus little person.
Right, but
He's got the circus big person.
Right. Between the two of us, I'm sure we can make all their money disappear.
Yes. Yeah, there's at least 2 people in this party, probably more, who can cast prestidigitation. You guys got this.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I mean, hey, I'm a psychic. I can read people's minds, give them fortune-telling shit like that.
And we've got the unusually intelligent Raven.
Yeah.
I actually have I have necromancy like could.
Oh my god.
I can just for appearances make bone dance just for entertainment value.
That is true.
What's that other animal that doesn't belong in the zoo? I can't think of
The
it.
Carcadan?
Yeah.
You don't have any Carcadans. Okay,
It's
so
like necromancy.
if you guys want to go forward with the circus plan, a hat of disguise is 1,800 gold a pop. A hat of disguise greater is 12,000 gold a pop.
I
I'm
held on to
thinking,
10,000 gold. This might
Tommy,
be the moment.
Tommy, I have a spell I can make that, but it's only a matter of time to make it for everyone. And 10 days, that's not enough for everyone.
That is
So-
true.
Sorry, guys, my audio just blanked out. Did I miss the last?
We're trying to figure out how to get hats of disguise.
I'm curious. So the other multiverses, what is the time like on that side? I'm thinking if time is very slow on that side.
You're gonna go step in the hyperbolic time chamber and make 1 billion hats of disguise.
Yes, yes. In theory, I could make 1 million hats if time moved very, very slow. But I do not know how the other multiverse time work.
Make a knowledge planes check.
And you'd end up very,
Need
very
another.
old, right?
If a time moved very slow, maybe like a day or 2 on the current plane we're on, maybe. I do not know how that time works.
Mhm.
Right, but you would age with that in that other multiverse, right? So when she'd be like 100 years old or whatever.
So she comes back as a lich. It'll be all right.
Yeah, just
So
I mean, with 100+ years and leveling up through making magic items, I could become a lich and come back as a level 20 wizard by then.
and just nuke
Or
my.
maybe
I'm
out-
sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to balance all the undead that you're going to make, and then we figure out how to hyperbolic time chamber, and you come back as level 20. Anyway, to answer your question, yeah, there are certainly other planes in the multiverse where time functions differently. It's a matter of getting there, though. Like, Mercutio has enough, like, little, like, weird bags of holding he can reach his hand in and pull something out of, but he can't transport a person.
I'm curious. Alter self spell mechanically, is that on the bard list as well?
I think it is.
I'd have to look and see.
I'll check. Hang on. I've got the tab open. Alter Self is a 2nd level bard spell. It's a 2nd level
I'm not
alchemist
there
spell. It's
I'm not there yet.
the only person who can't cast it in the party who can. Well, Francis can't cast it either. Francis can't cast it. Emeritus can't cast it. Everybody else has it on their spell list at some point.
Right, but I can't cast it yet.
Right.
I need one more level of bard.
So in a different time zone, if we all make a hat of disguise, we could do it. The DCs would be higher for all of you as you don't have the feats.
A different
To make-
time zone. I was moving 1 hour over. Fucking doing it, dude.
I'm not sure that's what he did.
He didn't mean time zone. He meant go into a different plane.
A different plane, and then use that time, and then with the hour they take, it would be like 6 days, and without you having the necessary feats, the DC would be higher to make it for
Why don't we
you.
just ask Tolkien for a bunch of hats of disguise for us?
You guys could certainly.
Why don't we just have Satan Claus or whatever his name was just dump
What?
us on the island?
Tolk, the Imperial Lord Tolk, the Imperial Lord J.R.R. Tolkien.
That's very different than Satan Claus.
That would work, but it's a shame. It is a shame we cannot have Santa hats being performers.
You guys also only have that favor once.
Right.
We'd
So
be
what?
back, so we want hats of disguise from him.
Santa
Can we
Claus
get
hats
one
in disguise.
Major hats of
It
disguise.
should be a big traveling hat.
Why don't we just put His Majesty on a boat?
this is the idea.
A boat of disguise.
The
There we
multiverse merchants. What if we pay someone to actually teleport all of us there? It's only teleport is like a level 5 or 6 wizard spell. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think it's like 6. I'll double
But how
check.
do we get back?
So, what about there are wizards.
Simple, get to
In-
level
yeah.
10.
Yeah,
The wizards in the city Absalom. We can just pay them to teleport us back.
that is
It is
entirely
like
possible.
It's under 1,000 gold for a rough calculation cost if we were to pay a wizard to teleport us to the city there.
Yeah,
And we do have the available funds to do that.
I don't know how much I would charge for it. It's a thought. Like you're thinking a little more along the lines less of like somebody can't, as you guys can't jump through a bag of holding and end up in the plane of fire and hyperbolic time chamber, all these hats of disguise. So too can't they like climb through the bag of holding and teleport? But you could possibly buy a scroll of teleport.
Okay, so with the rebel funds we have, we could buy one and then have it cast to get us there, and then buy another one so we can get a trip back there.
It's a thought.
So that is a pretty sound plan. Is everyone okay with this?
Well, it's only 100 miles per caster level, so
So
I don't know
you
how
would.
far we gotta go.
It's
So how far is
600?
Absalom?
Absalom is about 300 miles from the coast,
Okay.
and you guys are a day's march from the coast. So it's probably like we'll just round it down to 300.
Well, how far are we from the nearest wizard though that can cast it?
It's a little bit less of that, more of like, in theory, Mercutio could procure you guys one, and someone like use magic device to scroll of teleport.
Okay.
It'd have to be caster level at least. Well, I mean, it's at least 10th. So somebody like you could flub it really hard and it can go bad, but it's also not a bad like it could work.
Teleport to a
Guys.
place like Absalom.
Yeah,
Guys.
I would assume my character through her business trip to Geb would probably stop along the way to Absalom, so probably been there before.
you probably have. Yeah,
We could make the money for the hats by putting on a circus, and then that'll make our story more believable when we travel and say we're a circus because we'll have witnesses who
If
saw
we just show up,
circus.
if we just show up and we say we're a circus, they won't even think about it. See the wonders of the Ulfin lands and
Guys, this is a good idea. Let's do it. The
the
circus.
giants. See the giants. See the troll man, half
Yeah.
plant, half man, half. Like see the magic. See the magic of the dark arts from deep in Cheliax. See like. I have a feeling that Pogue would be a really good partner.
Pogue and Doncut can work together and
Yeah,
feel like a little man and a big
Pogue.
person.
Paul, with the money we have, we could buy you a I can't remember the announcer name in the circus. The wing leader. We could buy you a wing leader.
Yes, Caribou.
he said ringleader, not reindeer.
Wait, what?
Ringleader. Yes,
Buy you
Caribou.
a reindeer outfit.
Yes.
No. This a new plan. We are all going to dress up as one character reindeer.
Reindeer
fly
Brothers and
there.
Barnum Bailey Circus. No, thank you. We're good. Pogue's like, I will shop for my own clothing. Thank you.
But I'm thinking the teleport scrolls, it would be the best route.
It's a pretty good idea. Scroll of teleport would set you guys back. I just had it. Hang on. I gotta go back. I don't remember what level spell it is. It's a level 5 spell. So it would set you guys back 1,125 gold.
So both there and
Total.
back, so about 2,200 for return and enter trip there. So is there enough funds in the rebel funds to cover this?
It'd be like you guys would be spending your own personal gold.
Right.
And it's also, hang on a sec. You might need more than one. I just realized that. What is your caster level? Your caster level is 6.
6.
So you can bring along one additional willing medium or smaller creature or equivalent per 3 caster levels. So you can bring 2 people. So you would have to do this, and I know I said it was a good idea, and now I'm pooping on it. But to do this, you would have to get like, I'm doing quick math. You'd have to do it at least 4 times. Yeah.
Because you'd have to go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
For cost, how about we use the multiverse merchants to teleport us there?
Again, they can't. You would have to. They can't come through to teleport you. They can sell you a scroll, but you would need. I'm doing math. You would need 2, 4. You would need at least 6 scrolls to teleport. I think maybe 8. You're a couple days from Kathir.
So where can we
I still say we do the circus.
What was that, Colin?
I still say we do the circus.
Yeah. Circus.
Not a bad idea.
It's more fun to roleplay than shelling out money from
very,
some
very
jealous
true.
noble who didn't bring his money with him so he could teleport his own ass back there.
Yeah.
If I wanted, I don't have the necessary funds to teleport all of us.
I have an idea. I'll give you the money for a one-way trip.
Snap!
Okay, how about me and Prince Yumil go, and then we get the gold, and then come back, and then bring all you to Absalom then.
I don't want to go to Absalom with 3 guys.
It is going to be fun. There is the red light district that you will like.
Oh
There's
my
a nice
God.
Cabernet.
Just going straight to the red light district.
Yeah, folks like I am the red light district.
Oh!
Boom!
How about we have a fundraiser among the troops and you entertain them to get the gold for us?
I think we should sell off your cousin's ass for that.
Ooh.
What about the big guy? No, I mean, if you want it, I said we could get him there, and if you want to, we get a teleportation scroll, and you can take him there. I didn't say I was going to deliver myself into the mouth of my lifelong enemy. So
it wouldn't necessarily be the mouth of your lifelong enemy because, again, Absalom is neutral ground. You're not sure what's waiting for you there. They just, that Cheliax wants the prince brought to Absalom.
Right.
We are maybe wanted people there, but the prince is a major target they want.
Right. Well, they may be wanted people there, but there's it doesn't mean neutral people won't take us out.
If it's just me and Yumil, I'm not all that great at protecting myself, especially if it get close to combat. So,
well, if you're teleporting, it's not an issue. And remember, he has Man Mountain over there.
True. So how did the group want to do this? Just send me Yumil and a mountain?
Circus.
The circus is tempting and allow us to put on a show to get there.
We definitely have to spice up your clothes though a little bit, honey.
What are we gonna do if our disguises if we blow our disguises when we're in the circus? So it's just gonna become the murder hobos. Move around like, shit, it really fucked up again and he murdered. Look at this guy. He's gonna drink some shit. Oh, now he's neutral evil and he's killing everyone. That's great.
Just to bring up a point, oddly enough, I can actually change my clothing. armband of
You can change your clothing. So can I.
Whoa!
yes,
My God.
yes.
Mine's not sewn on.
It is a cheap magic item called sleep of many garments. Sleeve of many
Okay.
garments. So that's so we can definitely pull the.
Wait, can you use
Pull the-
it to like pull?
Yeah.
The
Got a lot of tricks up his sleeves. See?
the only downside of using this item is I can only change my clothes to a non-magic version of it. So
No, can you use it to pull like scarves that use?
The sleeve of many rabbits.
Like I'm a
no. I am not a. I cannot do that, unfortunately.
That'd be
I
kind of
can-
circus though.
I can at least use at least I can use a prestidigitation to make it look like I am pulling scarves out.
Yeah.
Come on, see the lady who can change her clothes.
Hey, people will come to that.
That's what she said.
Yes, they will, Sarah.
I actually do have a makeup kit on my character, so I can be a mime entertainer wizard.
Oh yeah, we could put Pop Everett back in his skull face.
Yeah.
You actually can't because the skull paint will fall off him because of his conversion.
Oh.
It doesn't actually have to be real skull paint.
Oh.
Just draw like a clown face, don't tell him.
Yeah, just clown face.
It's good! Turn him into one of them ICPs.
No. I refuse.
Sarah went from ghost
To ICP. Stops playing Papa Emeritus, starts playing like Violent J.
It all sounds like Leonard Skinner.
From death metal to horrorcore.
Yes!
Just like that.
I am on board for the circus plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's what we're doing, we'll need a little bit more like logistical details as far as like where you want to go. Again, what you're
We have
gonna.
a big old cart, don't we? That turns into a tent.
That is true.
I remember that. There we go. We got 90% of it right there. That's all you need is a cart and a tent.
There we go.
Okay.
We have Mercutio to have us buy the tent and circus supplies for the disguise.
Yeah, you could do that.
And then
Ooh, we could take some of the cavalry as like a horse riding show.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah.
Some of the infantry is like just a murder show.
Yes.
So,
Some
like,
people will see that. Yeah.
oh, well, they could be like the bouncers, or we could have like a martial arts display or something.
Come and see these peasants run around and try and do martial arts. Is that what you're saying?
No, you have the monk.
Look at this dude we found at a farm. Try and kick above his own head.
We have the monk fight like 20 guys.
I can't remember the orc that had the cat name, so we could have the orc be the what would be the circus Russian knife throwing act.
Except you have no idea where he is.
Right. But besides that, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ogres and his war cat.
Oh.
I mean, hey, I can psychic.
You can psychic.
There you go. Oh my God, crystal
You could
ball.
be. Yeah, that guy.
Well, you know, the real reason I'm bald is so that I can use my own head as a crystal ball.
Bah!
Mirror.
Oh.
Just shine it up, go town.
Mirror.
We could borrow have disguise from Mercutio if he had any laying around.
We'll see if
just
he does.
We could return them later afterwards.
He does not. You would have to buy them.
How much are they?
They are 1,800 a pop for a hat of disguise, I believe.
Well, a hat of disguise, we could just buy a general disguise.
That is true too. That's probably more like maybe 5 gold.
Yeah.
Remember, I
how-
have 10,000 gold. So.
I do have the spell Ultra Self known, but that can only last for like 6 minutes, I believe.
Less than an hour for me.
Well, if we, get ourselves all purdied up, then I'm sure that we can pull off something.
It is indeed a thought.
And besides, if we run around as a traveling show, then hey, there's no bluff checks because hey, we're a traveling show.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
All right. So, which direction are we trying to take this thing? Are we trying to take it a couple hours over to Kathir?
Depends. Do you guys want to go to Absalom, or do you want to be directly, or be teleported? So going to Kafir would be dangerous because they may just be interested in us being dead.
Yeah, you guys would be doing what you're trying to do, like in the heart of the enemy's capital.
If we take the boat, take the canoe, take a slightly bigger boat than a canoe, how long would that take if we borrow a ship from a dock city?
It depends on the ship. If you guys were to get your hands on a longboat and it'd have to be big enough to support all your troops, but if you guys were constantly rowing that thing, you could reach Absalom in 3 days. Of course, the odds of finding a longboat in the Middle East, or not in the Middle East, more like Asia Minor, it's pretty slim, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
Especially if there happens to be a bunch of Osirianites fighting a bunch of Asian people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Try to see how many people this thing can hold. One longboat can hold 100 soldiers. It sets you back 10,000 gold to buy a longboat.
I have 10,000 gold, guys.
You do?
I do.
She hasn't spent any of her gold.
I was saving it up to save up for a bigger, better item or a situation like this.
Yeah, but a boat?
You also would have to babysit a boat. Also, you would need 10 of them if you want to transport all your troops.
We don't want to take everybody.
Okay.
So a longboat is 10,000. Is there any other some smaller boats in size?
Yeah, I'll take a look.
I mean, how much money can we get from Tolk? Favor.
That is a thought.
Pieces.
A galley would
just get a boat from him.
No, we have to buy it. A galley would set you back the same amount. It's a little faster and would support do 250 soldiers.
How far are we from Casimir? Is that Casimir, the Taldor town?
From Casimir? Let me bring up my map of the Inner Sea region. I should have it open. No, I was reading too much Iron Fang Invasion last night. I will check. I don't know why I said a question I will check. I don't know. Inner Sea World Guide. You guys are probably more than a day. By sea is a different story. If my headphones were a little longer, I'd get up from my computer and go look at my giant map of the Inner Sea region that's hanging up in my room and tell you exactly. But as it stands, probably at least 3 or 4 days, I'm going to guess.
Oh, okay.
Why is the map about the easiest thing to find?
It seems like if we got to Casimir, which is one of the places that Grog kind of calls home, then where he says he's from, even though he's really from Cheliax, then we might be able to get something there, right?
That's a thought, yeah.
That's a big sailing town.
Yeah.
So how many days trip to there would be?
To Casimir?
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, hang on, I'm looking.
Yeah, we'd have to go through Taldor.
Yeah, if you were going on foot, you'd be cutting through Taldor.
What about the shore? I'm thinking the shortest way we can go through Taldor if we do go that route.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a map of the actual city of Casimir. Here we go. Okay, so Casimir is.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm like squinting at a teeny tiny map. It would probably take you guys, but like 2 weeks. It's so far into Taldor that you're almost into like what used to be Andoran. It's sitting on the Taldor Andoran border. By sea,
Right.
from where you are, you'd get to Absalom about the same time as you'd get to
Right.
Casimir, give or take.
Right. Yeah, if we have a boat that can get us to Casimir, we have one that can get us to Absalom.
Yeah, for sure. Absalom actually might be like half a day closer, if not more.
So if we do buy the longboat, how are we going to store it once we get back to the east here? I'm just figuring out storage and how
We're not buying a boat.
Oh,
Pogue is poo-pooing that idea right off the bat.
Okay, how about paying?
Okay, so that's one person. How about the rest of us?
says
I mean,
Joe.
we could rent a boat.
You
Right?
could rent a boat. That does sound a little bit
Rent.
more viable.
Can we pay for passage on a merchant?
I've had bad enough experience with other people babysitting boats.
This is Hamid.
Paying the crew to paying a merchant ship to let us be on board to get to Absalom. That would be quite profitable for them.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's one way.
That would probably require a lot more like subterfuge and disguise and stuff to be able to like sneak in, because like I said, any major port towns in the region are definitely imperial held.
Okay, so if we do disguise ourselves, the story is we are taking Yumil to Absalom and require a ship to take us there. But that would be dangerous for all of us potentially as a group being watched.
That is true.
So disguise would work, but it would be quite difficult for us.
How are you going to disguise the man mountain?
I had a disguise.
I mean, why not just ask Talk passage there and passage back?
You could do that.
We're blowing a big favor on a Cheliax noble who got cold feet.
Do we want to
true.
waste such a favor like that?
Is it a waste
That
if it
is
gets
true.
something done?
I am thinking it will get that done, but I'm trying to think the big ticket things we could use that favor for exactly.
Yeah. So
What else could we use it for? You're asking what we could use it for. Well, we could use it for this.
That is true.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the best thing we could use it for, but
It would solve the problem.
true.
For the spell, teleport communal. How many can that teleport?
Oh yeah, that exists too, doesn't it? Hang on.
Teleport doesn't have a communal spell. There's no teleport.
No,
No, it's just teleport.
Also, there's not a group or more powerful version of teleport.
Teleport is already a group spell.
I think there's a greater one.
There is a greater one, but all that does is make you not have to roll.
That is true, yeah.
Do we want to risk it, use a disguise, and get through the port cities, or just use a favor?
And really didn't come here to be a part of a circus. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm not down to
Really?
be part of a circus. Yes.
Darn it.
And really didn't come here for any other reason. But now that he's here, he's not going to be here part of a circus.
I
That's
thought being
different.
part of the circus was the whole reason that Whirling was here.
Well, it's certainly not going to be any part of the reason.
all right. Well, Pogue can respect that, but he at the same time, Pogue is like, why are we all jumping in on this? He wants to go back. Let him go. See ya. Bye. Good luck to you.
That is also an option. You could just turn him loose.
I mean, he got this far.
Yeah.
We can see him to the coast.
He has his men. We don't even need to see him to the coast.
You don't even need to do that. We can, but I mean, we can help Pogue said he would do everything he could to, in terms of like the rebel side of things, so he could keep him out of rebel hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you won't have any trouble with that.
Well, that's true too.
I don't think he'll really be in anyone's hands, as long as he's still got enough gold to pay his man here.
Mm-hmm. Well, the situation.
Why are we worrying about it? We have a war to fight here.
That is true.
Well,
the situation is up to you guys. Worst case scenario, if we don't solve it in the next 5 minutes, we can think about it for a week, and then that's where we'll pick up.
yeah.
Yeah, true. It's better that we think it over.
Do you guys want to take that week to think about it and come back to that?
That might be best.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
That's what would be best.
That would be best. All right, fair enough. In that case, let me see if anything else needs to happen on the board. Not really. Is there anything else you guys want to do?
Nope. Good.
Nope.
All right, fair enough.
I would, based upon what we do, I would probably pick up my wagon and probably get back into the army group if possible. But
Okay, sure. Colin, did you trying to say something?
I was just saying, I'm ready for food.
Yeah, I'm hungry as well. Okay, fair enough. Then we will call it here. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Interplater Crossroads if for no other reason than, again, next week you get to see me try to kill people with an ancient demon lord. And we will see you next time.